Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to the National League. Chelsea are shit. 1 win in 7, absolute shit. Like Enzo Maresca is being found out or something like that. Arsenal are fighting to win the Premier League, believe it or not, against Michael Oliver. But the PGMOL has doubled down that it's a red card. They think it's a red card. They absolutely back Michael Oliver. A lot of people are saying it's match fixing. It's a conspiracy theory against Arsenal. We'll talk about that as well. Tom Little with his new haircut, whatever that is. He looks like a 15 years old. Liverpool are ruthless. They are absolutely unstoppable. And Omar Marmoush, this guy's going to be a star. But Kozanov, we don't know as well. But big up everybody that's here. Hit that like button, guys, if you're here now. And if you're watching this on the replay, hit the like button first. It helps the channel, helps the algorithms. In this tough January transfer window, David Ornstein said that Arsenal might sign a striker. So don't be like Arsenal, leave it to the last minute. Hit that like button now and today. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing very good. I've got
all
jerk
good.
chicken thighs and they're delicious.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I mean, I feel like
Here goes Tom.
Here goes me. When it happened to Mo, I done it, so I feel like it's only fair. Nobbins, how did your team get on this weekend, mate?
I think we won.
You won. Fair enough.
1-4-0.
I did Inter 1-4-0. I saw Lautaro Martinez scored. Good
it was his score.
Rory, how did Arsenal get on the weekend? Was it another 3 points for you?
It was, yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, Liverpool got another 3 points as well. So, Dan, how did the mighty Chelsea get on? You know, Enzo Maresca's guys, Cole Palmer, you know, Robert Sanchez, all
title race contenders.
They got the job done, didn't they?
Unfortunately, not. No.
No.
Although we lost 3-1.
I saw you were winning the law.
Chelsea are top of the league in the first half an hour of games this season.
Give them the trophy now.
Maresca
is the trophy now.
Stop the count.
Yeah. At 5 points clear, I might add. 5 points clear.
Crazy.
I can't wait for that to be Todd Bowley's next thing. The football games are too long. They need to stop after 30 minutes. Incredible.
Yeah. Well, look, it's all gone to pot at Chelsea. I have a lot to say, but
who could have seen that?
But you know what's mad, right? I remember probably not even 6 weeks ago, Dan getting abuse on this channel for suggesting that Chelsea weren't title contenders.
Oh yeah,
Dan would say that, and then everyone talk about how he's the negative Chelsea fan and all of that, and now you're barely top 4 contenders.
How many wins is that in your last 8? 2
in the league, 1 or 2.
That's nearly as bad as City
Oh,
earlier in the season.
And there's a huge gap in team quality between the two, I would say.
I think the
biggest
problem.
The biggest problem is that you don't have Alejandro Garnacho. I think that solves
Yes.
all of the issues.
Yeah, clean sheets would dry up. Would definitely be more common with him. Yeah, look, there are so many issues, and I think so much is going wrong at the same time at Chelsea that it's just sort of people are starting to, I mean, obviously react online to absolutely everything that could possibly be going wrong. I think it almost looks as if the form earlier on in the season papered over a lot of cracks that have been there since the day Clearlake came in as an ownership model. And I don't see Chelsea right now qualifying for the Champions League at the end of this season.
I think that based on
that would not go down very well.
No, well, the numbers tell us top 5 will get Champions League most likely.
I don't think
you don't think you'll finish even 5th.
You're right.
We're level with
Newcastle.
We're level with Bournemouth. They are
Nobbins. You're right enough. Newcastle. Have you watched Newcastle lately?
I'm writing on Man City.
No,
wait. No, writing off City.
I believe currently there are 5 teams more capable of getting the top 5 positions than Chelsea. I also believe
does everyone in the panel agree with this? Because I'm the only one that disagree with this.
Sorry, what are we agreeing or disagreeing on?
So Dan has a statement that said that he sees 5 teams more capable of getting top 5 than his team.
Yeah.
Everyone agree?
No.
Okay. Nobbins, go ahead. Before Tom takes over the show.
Wow. I just think that they'll get at least 5th. That's what I think.
Okay. Who are the team that you think Chelsea are ahead of them?
Well, I've still got big question marks on City. It depends what we do the rest of this window, to be honest with you. I'm still not convinced.
Why do I have a feeling that City has zero chance of finishing outside the top 5? Why in my head, why am I the only one that thinks that City will not finish 6 or 7?
I don't believe Chelsea will go above Manchester City again now this season in the table.
For me, it's Bournemouth and Forest that I think
to drop
will end up dropping. I think they'll both drop out. Yeah,
but Bournemouth are not even in that.
The way Bournemouth are playing is amazing. I don't think it's sustainable with the squad that they've got and the injuries that they've got. Nottingham Forest, that was a real sobering result to lose 5-0 in the way that they did. They got a real tough run of games coming up as well. So yeah, I just don't think. I don't know if they'll have the legs come the end of the season.
Can I say my top 5 and we'll see if we agree or not? People in the chat, yes or no, or you can put your top 5. People in the chat, put your top 5 in. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Newcastle.
I think it'll be Newcastle, Chelsea. But...
Yeah, and don't necessarily agree on the order, but that in terms of the teams, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know about the order. I think it's between. I believe that City will be 3rd, right, in this league. I believe it's between Newcastle and Chelsea to finish 5th or 4th. That's all.
I wouldn't be shocked if Chelsea finished 6th.
Are we writing off Villa as well?
No, Tom, I wouldn't be shocked as well. Tom, I wouldn't be shocked as well. I wouldn't. But that is my choice. Not be shocked, but that would be my choice.
I think you got to look at it this way. That Nottingham Forest result against Bournemouth was a bad one in terms of the scoreline, but looking at the way the game went, it was just a lot of very uncharacteristic mistakes from that Nottingham Forest defence, which they haven't made all season. If that becomes a consistent thing now, then yes, they won't get it. But if they can just bounce back off one bad game and get back to those defensive levels, they'll be all right. Whereas Chelsea don't have those defensive levels to go back to. Chelsea's is about, can we outscore the opposition? And as we saw on the weekend, sometimes that just doesn't happen for whatever reason. And Chelsea's defense isn't good enough to bail them out. The goalkeeper isn't good enough, and the defense isn't. That's why, if you're asking me right now, Villa, I would like to say, but I just think they're going to struggle with Champions League as well, because they're going to make it through to the next phase, but they're not going to make it through top 8, so they're going to have an extra 2 games to play. Which, if they get through, then I just think Villa are going to end up getting blinkers for Champions League, and that'll probably damage the league for them. So I don't think it'll be them, but I have Chelsea 6th. To be honest, I have.
We're writing off Aston Villa just for everyone.
I'm not personally, but I believe Aston Villa probably have a chance of finishing.
If Aston Villa get knocked out in this playoff. What's the playoff round? The
Yeah.
one where
Yeah.
if Aston Villa go out in that round, I could see them getting mounting a late season.
Aston Villa are going to get top 8 if I'm not mistaken.
No, they're not.
They're only 3 points behind Chelsea.
No, top 8 in Champions
Oh,
League.
Champions League. I'm not sure now.
I don't think they will.
I know that Dan doesn't know.
Who've they got last game?
I watch
Celtic.
every Champions League game I can possibly watch, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I've got
Apologies.
2 free evenings during the week now, so I can
Oh,
watch.
You know
Apologies.
what? You know what? They could do, in theory. They could do.
They could, but I
because
don't think they will.
Atalanta have to play Barca last game. If
Yes.
Atalanta don't
And
win,
freaking Aston Villa have
win,
to play Celtic. So let's
Yeah.
assume that Aston
Celtic
Villa
has
will
been-
win
Celtic
against
has been
Celtic.
good though. Celtic
It's
haven't
at
had a
home.
bad tournament at
It's
all.
at home. It's at home. So I'm backing Aston Villa to win against Celtic at home.
If Villa,
And
if Villa
Atalanta
don't have
play
to play this
Barcelona.
playoff round, if Villa don't have to play this playoff round, I could see them get building up. I had the steam now because the actual round 16's in March, isn't it? So I could see them building up enough of a head of steam now, or enough of a gap now to where a wobble in form when they're back playing Champions League doesn't deter them as much. I thought they were a bit lower down, so I was thinking if they've got to do a playoff round and then another round after that, they'll struggle. Now with that, I think Villa could be up there. Chelsea could finish 7th, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's
Okay,
that
but
team is
before we go into this, okay, let's just talk about the game first, guys. Listen to Nafisa. Thank you, Nafisa, for the support, guys. I'm over 300 people here, almost 300 people. We're not even on 100 likes, guys. The like button helps the channel. It looks like thumbs up underneath your live chat. So let's get to 100 likes first, and then we push to 200 likes. Hit that like button. Also, Rory's channel in the description. Tom Little, Dan, and Nobbins. So go and support the guys, of course. Brilliant content as always. Let's talk about the game itself. And Enzo Maresca schooled by Pep Guardiola. I actually want to start with the individual performances. I want to start by my Egyptian guy, just bias. Yeah. By Omar Marmoush. Tom, you said that Omar Marmoush did fuck all. You're just a hater because you have Mohamed Salah. Very obvious agenda. You can tell that Omar Marmoush will be absolutely a star for Man City.
Oh, he could.
He had one train. Tom, he had one training session. One.
That's fine, Mo. I'm not judging his entire Manchester City career off his debut against Chelsea, but I'm also not going to sit there and go, oh, no. I didn't think he'd done much. He had a couple of bright moments. He scored an offside goal, which he should have been onside for, and then just sort of faded away into irrelevance. The threat down that left-hand side was Gvardiol. Maybe that was the plan in the game, in which case then Marmoush might deserve a little bit more credit for being a facilitator. But I don't think that was. I don't think Pep Guardiola signed an £80 million player to get more goals out of his left back. So, yeah, he could well be good. There was a couple of signs there which can give people a little bit of promise. But I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, what a debut. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I don't think he was that impressive. But he was the better debutant out of the two. Because Kuzanov, that I felt sorry for the poor kid. He had what might be the worst 5 minutes I've ever seen from a debutant in the Premier League. He just looked so lost. And I know that City are battling. I assume.
Hold on. I was talking about Marmoush. Why did he take it to Kuzanov? Did you take it to Kuzanov?
Because there's nothing to talk about with Marmoush.
You see the agenda? You see the agenda? I was talking about Marmoush, right? And he's like, let's talk about Kuzanov, mistake. And instead of trying to talk about Marmoush.
Just yes.
There's nothing to talk about with Marmoush.
And I expected Nobbins to stop him. And I'm like, what? We're talking about Marmoush.
I was waiting for Tom to finish. I'm not going to interrupt.
He took the thing to the other side. He's like, let's talk about the mistakes, City. He's talking about
right.
Yes.
Marmoush, his leading stat was tackles. That was the thing he was best at in the game, tackling. And you want me to make out that he had such a really good debut? No.
It was a good debut. If
anything, the debut showed me that he might not be necessarily the perfect fit for the Pep team because he made so many runs in behind that City don't play passes into. Same thing that happened in the first season with Haaland, where he makes so many runs in behind that he doesn't get the passes into. So Marmoush is going to have to adapt his game there.
I thought Marmoush played fine. I thought it was good. Could have been onside a couple of times, but he provides a really good threat in terms of like the running in behind. I think that especially long term when Rodri's back in the side, who's like great at those passes from deep. He's going to thrive off that. Is Marmoush? Like normally it's been Kyle Walker that Rodri's been having to find the runs of. Now it's going to be Marmoush. So I think that's exciting. So I thought he played fine, to be honest with you. I thought that was all right. Yeah, should have done better for some offsides, but that's absolutely fine. Chelsea did have a high line, so that was obviously the idea. Kusanov, yeah, bad 5 minutes, but he played well, to be honest, overall. To be honest with you, he was put into a situation which was impossible from a context perspective. He's 20 years old. He doesn't even speak English. He didn't have Ruben Diaz to guide him. He was popped next to Nunes, who is a central midfielder playing at right back, and alongside a Kanji, who is not a leader in Diaz. And obviously there's nerves, and he was up against Chelsea with a very threatening attacking players. And outside of those first 5 minutes, which were bad, he played well, to be honest with you. Some good forward passes, a good block against a Sancho shot, I believe. Dealt with
the rest of the game on a yellow. I thought he actually was really good.
Exactly, yeah,
minutes.
100%, yeah. So I didn't really. I thought the critiques were a little bit overblown, and that's without the context. Never mind all the context I've discussed. So yeah, I was more than happy with the debuts. In all honesty, I think that promising signs from both of them. Should we touch on the game now?
Before we go, I need to have a discussion about one thing about Marmoush. So me and you spoke just a little bit. Me and you spoke about Marmoush and the way he plays and Pep adjusting to him. Me and Rory had a discussion with you last week about does Marmoush fit Pep's system, and it was clearly that Pep dropped the line, played in spaces for him to thrive. The question is, will Pep stick to this? Or will he go back to position-based football, high press, which clearly Marmoush needs the spaces to run that doesn't exist when you play the high pressing, ball position football. So that is the question that I asked you, and you said that you don't know. But it's clearly that Marmoush doesn't suit the original system of Pep. That is no spaces, very tight. There is no way to run. You need to dribble two guys to be able to get to the byline. Is he that guy? And clearly, because he changed his system for him, that might not work. So I can twist things as well.
Well, and that maybe takes us nicely into the discussion about the match, because I was just about to talk about City's system. It wasn't a new system. It was what we did last season. Towards the end of the season, we've used it once this season, I believe. That was against Spurs at home. Obviously, they didn't end well, but that wasn't because of the formation or setup. It was how we played towards the back end of last season. It's ultimately what won City the title, to be fair. 2-3-5. So your fullbacks, it's very reliant on the fullbacks, which were Nunes and Gvardiol pushing up. That allows the nominal wide players to tuck in. So Foden on the right, Marmoush on the left. And it worked out really nicely, to be honest. I thought, apart from Akanji was only all right, I thought every City player played well. In all honesty, I don't think Chelsea played well. I'm sure Dan will touch more on that in a moment. But yeah, I thought Chelsea's approach was very, very odd. But just sticking with City for a moment, yeah, we played well. Haaland had a great day from like a hold-up play perspective. Ederson was vital to that as well. Marmoush making threatening runs. But also, I think shout out to the midfielders for City, because they just had one of, I think for me, against PSG, Bernardo had the worst game I've ever seen from him, which sounds harsh, but I think it's fair. Kovacic, likewise, one of the worst games I've seen from him. And he and Bernardo, Kovacic, and Gundogan all played very well. And we're actually relatively solid defensively. And that was massive, because that was always going to be the biggest weakness. So I just wanted to give them props, because they, especially Bernardo, were able to bounce back from maybe the worst game I've ever seen against PSG to being one of the best players on the pitch. And of course, that was largely helped out by Chelsea, who for some reason, Dan, went man-to-man marking against us, which it does not work. When you've got Ederson and Haaland and Foden on the pitch, it just seemed like a suicidal decision by Maresca to do that. I know some players didn't pull their weight, but I just thought that was a mad approach.
Yeah, well, he's definitely gone man for man in a number of games. So it wasn't anything I was shocked at. I was more surprised with how high he moved his defensive line. I think he did because he really wanted Chelsea to come out of the blocks quickly, really apply some pressure to what he probably felt was a weak point in the defence in Kusanov. And I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I think he probably targeted that. I don't think Chelsea's team is experienced or educated enough to understand that as soon as that shift started to happen where Vardiol found a lot of room in behind, we had to do something about that line. And the thing that I found so baffling is that, I don't know if anyone will remember, but when he first came in the door, he said, Pochettino played like this really high line. I don't want a high line. That isn't what this team's going to be about. And then he's done it in that game. And I think everyone sort of sat there and was like, why would you do that when you've seen the likes of Tottenham, Brighton, West Ham do that against us? And obviously we've had a lot of success against it. So I don't know what he believed our defense was going to be capable of doing, but he got it. He got everything wrong for me. And the fact
Can I
that
tell you something, Dan? He got both aspects of the game wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
I
Like,
honestly
so
don't
everyone
think
agreed.
But it should have been
Your
2-0 up.
wingers, and I said down on the football terrace, we're going against 2-3 City defenders every time they got the ball. No overlapping, no one is supporting them. The midfield is not supporting them. And defensively, it was 1-on-1. And I said that before. How can a coach get both aspects of the game wrong?
Well,
how did you prepare for the
can
game?
read him like a book as well, because it's one of Pep's older systems. He's seen that before. I think Maresca has pretty much based that off of a system he obviously worked very closely on when he was the assistant coach at City, or was one of the coaches in that treble-winning season. And I just honestly believe Maresca was out of his depth in that game, as he has been in a number of other games against better managers. I think we're seeing a guy that is young and inexperienced and has a lot of learning to do.
Mm-hmm. I do also think, though, I agree completely with the point of when the shift happened, because it was like a clear momentum shift. It was when Gvardiol missed his first chance.
Yeah.
The momentum started to shift. But before
he realised there was space there to get those chances again. Yeah.
Haaland started making different movements, and that started drawing space. And who was left centre mid? Who was on the left for City? Was it Bernardo in the midfield? I mean,
so that Marmoush. In terms of attacking or deeper,
you had Marmoush at left wing and Gvardiol at left back, but who was like the left side of the central midfielder? Who just whoever it was kept sort of drifting and dragging Caicedo away and almost opening up a space to run at Chalobah and James. And that was where Marmoush and Gvardiol were really attacking. I thought Reece James was switching off like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, Reece James was poor defense.
Madueke as well was just like not tracking Gvardiol.
Madueke didn't track back, but Chelsea should have been 2-0 up. There was that chance where Cole Palmer's played through 1-on-1 and he tries to square it.
The pass was appalling.
And
to me,
you got to shoot that.
Oh, did you see Tom in the media? They want to blame Jackson.
I can blame Jackson because I still think he has an opportunity to score.
Jackson should be doing better with that, but the main blame falls onto the fact that Cole Palmer has went through 1-on-1 and not finished it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I think that actually comes down to
if that was my guy running through, I wouldn't care if
Tom, that comes down to Jackson being in this run of form. He's tried to help out his teammate there because Jackson's lacking a goal. If Jackson was on fire, he ain't passing that to Jackson. It was because Jackson's in such low confidence.
That's where we need to. That's where the team needs to.
You have to be.
You know what? It's not that only. Why didn't Palmer affect the game after this? Forget that. Why didn't Palmer affect the game after?
Because I don't think Chelsea. Maresca didn't put Chelsea's best players in a position to control or have an effect on the game.
No one gives other players excuses. We never gave Foden excuses. We never gave Saka excuses.
You can't give Palmer excuse.
The Palmer big game. The Palmer big game conversation continues to
outside of London as well is the other one I keep hearing as well. So yeah, apparently it's 2 goals this season, 4 in total outside of London goals.
What? So Cole Palmer's basically
Palmer had a bad game. You can't dress it up any other way. Chelsea have been so reliant. Chelsea have been so reliant on Palmer that at times he's obviously bailed us out, but obviously when he isn't able to step up and able to score or have an effect on the game, we then obviously look like the side that we are, which is probably mid-table level quality at times.
But just like to defend Palmer for a second, the issue is that Palmer is a very vertical player. So if Chelsea set up horizontally and Colwell's literally time wasting in the 25th minute, I think it was, which is madness. You've just seen Kusanov do a massive blunder, 2 inside 5 minutes. You should really, really be going for the jugular like PSG did. But for whatever reason, Chelsea backed off. and they seemed content to try to defend the 1-0 lead. I don't think that, again, just to defend Palmer for a second, I don't think that really suits his style. Like, he's someone who wants to get on the ball and make something happen, or in like layman's terms. But if Chelsea aren't set up to do that, then I think that will in turn lead to less than stellar performances. So I'm just going to provide some context to the Palmer criticism there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Nobbins. I was saying during the game that the way we sort of tried to hold on to that lead after we'd gone 1-0 up, I think I turned around to the guy that I was watching with and I just said to him, I don't understand why you'd have Palmer on the pitch in this situation, as well as a number of other players, because it so clearly isn't going to be a game that the way Maresca has his system set up, he's not going to have any effect on the game here whatsoever.
I think the biggest concern for me with Maresca is the lack of ability to change the game. Like, when the tide turned, at no point after that did anything change. And like you've alluded to, the start of the game was strong. And why that didn't continue, I don't really know. I don't know if that's a mentality
I think strong off the ball, Rory. I don't actually think on the ball we looked too dangerous. I just think we got very fortunate with the goal that we scored, and then sort of sniffed a bit of danger, but not enough that we continued it for the rest of the game. You got a young kid with no right back alongside him on a yellow card, and our players are not old enough and experienced enough to sniff out more danger than just that.
I saw someone say, like, obviously there's that clip of Jackson almost kind of calming Kusanov down, or like trying to be friendly to him, and I saw someone talking about like the difference between that and a Diego Costa, and what Diego Costa would have done in that situation. And it's true. I remember Diego Costa literally did exactly that to Gabriel Paulista years ago. And I do. He knew he was in Gabriel's head, Paulista's head, and just kept antagonizing.
That's all the old ones. Torres, Suarez. I remember all the old guy, like the guy Drogba would not be friendly.
Torres and Vidic was
like these guys are like Yapstam, like Nesta, Cannavaro. You wouldn't be. They're not friendly people when they're on the pitch.
Even players that aren't even like wingers, they'll get them on the ball and keep taking them on, and just without being like a bully, they'll just dominate the guy so much that he has to make another foul.
Why Neto? Is Neto like injured or something?
I think he. Look, I don't know why he.
Bro, he has no output. Tom, he has no output.
That's fine. None of the wingers have output, so I need the guy who's most threatening. And Neto, the moment that City, the moment that it was like coming out that City were going to struggle to have a right back for that game, all week long it would have been Pedro on the left. Pedro Neto on the left up against whoever the fuck is at right back.
They have to protect Sancho.
I also think Sancho is more than
for some reason. You remember? Sorry, Dan. I have a feeling that Sancho is being protected by Maresca. Like, and it has this feeling of Kai Havertz.
But he would.
It has to work.
Overly protect one of his players with Maresca.
Oh yeah, why not?
I'm winding you up, Mo. It's sarcasm, because obviously.
No, but by the way, I know that coaches do this, even at Inter. Every club
they do.
has.
Sanchez is
guys. You guys know this. Like that, people protect an asset for the club for whatever reason, we don't know. It's a motive inside that happens, because I felt exactly like Tom. Why isn't Neto going direct at Nunes? It just makes so much sense to have the guy that would go direct instead of the guy that can dribble.
But why would they want to protect Sancho over Neto when Neto they just spent an awful lot of money on, and Sancho they didn't?
I don't know though. Rory, I don't know.
If that was the other way round, if they were protecting Neto at the expense of Sancho, that would make far more sense. I don't know. The other way around, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I was looking back today. Chelsea's business in the summer, in the cold light of day now, actually looks abysmal.
It's so
like 240 million euros, and the only one that even comes close to starting games at this point is Neto, and he's not a cemented first team. Outside of that, it's actually horrendous. Like 40-odd million spent on goalkeepers. Nearly 60 million euros spent
Felix
on
50 million. Vega obviously got recruited, is now already left in 6 months. Vega.
But there is breaking news, guys, just by the way. Disasi has joined Aston Villa. No. Disasi has agreed to join Villa now with the talks between the clubs.
All right, not saying Disassi's great, but unless Chelsea have got something lined up, Chelsea finish below Villa because defensively we can't afford to let another defender go. We've just let
What, like a
Vega and
loan or a proper sign?
Okay,
I
so
agree with
here are
one.
the news. Let me put the news out, right? Axel
yeah.
Disasi has agreed personal terms with Aston Villa. Disasi wants to join Villa despite interest from other clubs around Europe.
Oh, it's because of the Tyrone Mings
He had the
injury.
direct talks with Unai Emery,
Yeah.
crucial to get the green light. So the green light is there. Deal is now up to Chelsea and Villa to reach full agreement. And I think Chelsea.
Interesting.
What is wrong? Disasi is not good, Dan.
No, it's more the fact that I don't
He's
trust.
a body
the
though,
sport-
isn't he? He's a body.
Why
Disassi
is he
is.
upset?
I actually think we're being a bit harsh here. I actually think Disassi, as a limited defender, can actually do a good job. And I think actually, if you look at his stats last season, I think he was one of, if not Chelsea's best player on the ball in terms of passes completed.
He was never helped by the fact that of all the players to be put at right back when you needed it,
Yeah,
they kept
he's
putting
the
him at right
complete
back.
wrong profile.
which-
And also, by
which
the way,
meant-
can we just put in perspective that Maresca is making, like, he made Chalaba against Haaland look silly. He made Colwell look silly. But sometimes your tactics don't suit the players you have.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's how
you
you.
make
That
the
is
player look bad.
how you lose a dressing room. If a player walks in the next day knowing that the manager made him look silly, they'll lose faith in the manager. They'll be
That-
like, "You sold me short in that game."
That man-to-man stuff, man-to-man only works if you can win all your individual battles, and there's only two centre-backs, 2, 3, 4 centre-backs in the league who I think can win individual battles against Haaland consistently.
Saliba
And
did. Gabriel did.
Colwell's not one
Van
of
Dijk
them.
does.
No,
I
Levi.
So Liverpool are
Saliba,
last.
Gabriel, Van Dijk, Canate, they're the only 4 centre-backs I'd back in against Haaland 1v1 to win the majority of their individual battles.
So why is the coach putting them into? He's setting up them to failure.
That's the problem.
That's the
Exactly,
point.
exactly,
That's
Mo.
what I'm
That's why
saying.
they're
I
gonna be
don't
annoyed.
get why he
But-
went man-to-man in that.
Do you know what the
Yeah.
problem is? Do you know what the problem is? In this game, that ball, the exact same one from Ederson or the long ball to Haaland, when him back into a player, happened 4 times. 3 of them, that was the last man. Twice was Colwell, 1 was Chalaba. And Maresca's looking at us and like, no, I'm going to continue doing this. I'm like, that is idiotic.
But that's the issue. Even with Van Dijk and Canate and Saliba and Gabriel, who are definitely better defenders than Colwell and Chalobah, even then, it's always the same that it's set up that one of them goes touch tight on Haaland and the other one sweeps. So there's
Yeah.
even if they lose the duel, there's normally then the other one covering. So and those two are the best teams at dealing with him generally, and other teams have done it as well. But it was the fact that they were just leaving either Colwell or Chalobah isolated. I mean, it was Chalobah for the second goal, and it was Colwell
what
for
is
the
Robert
third.
No,
Sanchez
Maresca's
doing
making
that
you look
goal,
like
by
an
the way?
idiot, to be honest. Maresca's
Exactly,
making
Mo.
you look like
So those players will realize that they'll watch their game back because they have to be given the footage to watch it back to understand what they could have done better in that system, and they'll look back at it and go, "Why
Nothing.
on earth did he ask me
Nothing.
to do that job? Like,
yeah, nothing.
why
There's
was
nothing you
no
can do.
one covering behind?" Because in that situation, right, and this is where Chelsea got bailed out a number of times when he was there. But Thiago Silva was the one who would rebel against the manager asking him to do something like that, and would read the game on the pitch and be on the line to clear it or something.
Yeah,
when
but these
Haaland-
guys are not set up to do this. They're
No,
not.
I
They are-
know. No,
Yeah.
they're not. But Thiago Silva under Poch played in a high line as well. And ultimately, he just sort of went against it at times when he was fit and available. And I think that's where experience comes in, where you can guarantee there'll be players out there that are more experienced and better at understanding a game defensively than Enzo Maresca. And to build the best teams, you have to work together with your players. The players have a fair input. They're the ones actually playing in the game, and they'll feel different to what the manager feels on the touchline. It's just, but I don't believe Maresca will do that because he's a systematic-based manager who is sold on his system. It's got him success for Leicester, and he's not going to change. And you can
I told
see
you.
how stubborn he is.
I told you
Postecoglou
so.
did it.
Reece James. That I think that's just everything you
The-
need to know.
The problem is Rory and Tom were like adamant that this Maresca experiment has a 50% chance of not working at all.
Enzo Postecoglou.
Yeah,
I've
no,
seen
I agree. Rory said a few weeks ago, didn't you, about Enzo just being too stubborn and it will sort of start to unwrap, and it has. And you also said about Pochettino in the last 18 games, and obviously Maresca's first 18 games. And now, if we go on a little bit longer, I think it's starting to look. There is a debate now that has to be had. Were Chelsea better at the end of last season when it came to working out a way to get results, rather than we may at times play a better style, a better looking football. But is this Chelsea team as
But do you
well
know the
suited to
problem
get
is,
results in the
Dan,
Premier League?
and everyone in the chat and the panel as well? I now, in the last 7, 8, 9 games, fail to see what is Maresca's system. One time he's a high line, one time it's transition-based football, one time it's position-based football, one time is high pressing, one time is not high pressing. And I'm like, can you at least stick to something?
The
so we can
pressing
just
was
see it?
very odd against City because if you play a
Yeah.
high line, it was very Man City. If you have a high line, you can't have a weak passive press. That's what City have done a lot of the season. But the reason why City do that is because we don't have the players physically capable of doing like a proper counter press. Chelsea do, but for some reason they didn't. So I found that
was the
very
thing.
confusing.
It was like at 1-0, you've got them on the ropes, you've got a centre-back who looks really worried. You're still playing your high line, so you're still leaving yourselves vulnerable defensively, but then you're not using that high line to squeeze City in. So you're
They did a couple of times, Rory. They did a couple of
Yeah,
times.
No, only early on, Mo.
Yeah. You did a couple of you remember you forced Ederson to kick it outside. One was a throw in next to the corner flag, and the one was when he tried to kick it out and it went to halfway line to a throw in as well. He did force Everton. The problem is after this, I believe that you were shocked by the 2 long balls that Ederson played, and then like, okay, now we can't.
Go look at if you can, like, go back and look at Chelsea's back 4 shape for the 3rd goal. You know, like when Haaland's contesting the challenge, it looks like a Z. Like it's all over the place. It's really weird.
The game it reminded me of massively was 2 seasons ago, Arsenal, when they went away to the Etihad and we lost Saliba and we had Rob Holding and we still tried to play our way and we still tried to press them high, and City just went, actually, do you know what? We'll suck you all in and then we'll go long to Haaland and De Bruyne. It was very, very similar.
Yeah, it was like Forest did it like this season as well, and they got pumped 3-0 in the first half before they changed it. Like
even when
really
Arsenal done it that season, they at least had the setup correct. It was just they had the wrong guy committing. So that when Holding was going to sight onto Haaland, Gabriel was still in a position where if it was flicked on, he could pick up the pieces. The problem was, I do not know where the fuck Levi Colwill was. Every single time Haaland was up against Chalobah. Go look at the second goal. There's 2 people in the Chelsea half. It's Haaland and Chalobah and Sanchez, who I have no idea what he's doing for that. He goes out and stops, then goes out, then stops, then goes out, then stops, then goes, oh my God, I'm going to get chipped. And instead of running all the way back, because if he runs back, he'll catch the ball. He stops and does this crap little dive and doesn't get the ball anyway. Like
It's insane.
We've spoken about a lot of bad things Chelsea done in that game. But Maresca's worst thing is consistently playing Robert Sanchez. I don't care if there's this conspiracy because the goalkeeping coach calls him his second son or something. At some point, Maresca will lose his job. It won't be the goalkeeping coach. It will be Maresca who loses his job if this continues to happen.
Yeah, Habibi Jorgensen is not even better than him.
Are we sure of this? Because
I
mean,
watched Jorgensen. I don't think he's a
but
massive thing. Like just
the actual
Chelsea failed to invest in a good goalkeeper. Marmoush was there.
But they had one last season. They had one last season and they let him go to fucking Strasbourg.
Okay, and that proves one thing, that Chelsea's board is working towards the financial aspect and the future instead of the better of the team. They didn't see any investment in Petrovic, like the same. They didn't see investment in Chalobah, and now they need Chalobah. Oh, can we have you back now because we're struggling on the pitch? Same. It looks like it's all about the investment. It's all about the wages.
In the summer, I sat here and said, I don't know if it was on this exact show, but I did say it a number of times. I said Kepa is still the best keeper at Chelsea, and everyone laughed at me and battered me for that. And I genuinely will still stand by that. And I think at Bournemouth, he's having an okay season.
But the thing is, right, I just find it baffling. You've got 5 senior goalkeepers. All right, so a couple of them are young in terms of Penders, but they're playing senior football, right? All 5 of them are playing actively this season. Kepa you bought for 80 million euros. He's probably worth 25. But the point is, he's one of your keepers that you could have sold if you wanted to fund a keeper. In the last 2 seasons, between Sanchez, Petrovic, Jorgensen, and Penders, you've spent 85 million euros. You could have gone and got.
We've signed more, I think, Rory. I think more. We've signed Slanina as well, who cost money.
Slanina, yeah. So even more than that. But at the very least, of those that are kind of actively playing senior football, 85 million euros. Raya went in the summer permanently for 31 million euros. Mamardashvili went for 30 million euros. Like, you could have got any goalkeeper you wanted. And fine, if they're saying, well, we're going to make 5 million on him and 10 million on him when we sell them on. How much could you have cost yourselves in terms of the Champions League football? That's guaranteed net, like pure profit.
70 million.
Like
It's 70 million.
70 now, at least 70
now with the
million.
new games now, the 8 games you played, 70 million they said for each club.
I mean, Liverpool this season. I'm only going to use Liverpool because I know that Liverpool have made 100 million euros off the Champions League already, and we haven't even finished the group stage yet. But even if you just ignore the financial side of it, do you think Cole Palmer's going to necessarily be happy to play Europa League football next season?
Nah, he won't be here next season. I've got a feeling. I don't know what the fee will be for him to move, but genuinely.
So dramatic.
Okay, no, listen.
Has he just signed a 10-year deal or something mental?
Yeah, because all that 10-year deal does is protect the asset financially that they can obviously have to pay out the contract. I don't believe that Cole Palmer will want to play in this team as it is right now, with the lack of investment into players that are good enough to win Premier League titles or at least be good enough to top four.
Do you think he's going to get disillusioned by the project?
I think the conversation happened on the pitch in front of everyone in daylight with him and Pep Guardiola. Yeah,
he won't come back. He won't come back here.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I think Pep said something that's very, very important during the week. He said football is becoming positionless in one of his press conferences. Don't know if you saw it, Nobbins, or not, but I think that means Pep is going to change his system more so. I think that's the way they're going to go, City. And I think someone like Cole Palmer has shown that when Chelsea are fluid and ultimately positionless and in transition, I think that's when he thrives. And I can just imagine Cole Palmer. I mean, how is Cole Palmer not going to be playing Champions League football?
Right. Like this, by the way, you know, in terms of like where modern football's going, Tommy in the chat has just put something, and this isn't like calling him out, but he's just put, we have Palmer's image rights. Even if he's sold, the club will earn money from him. Like, we're at the point where fan bases are celebrating image rights within contracts rather than having Cole Palmer. Oh, it doesn't matter if we lose Cole Palmer, who's been our best player for the last 18 months, because we've got his image rights. And there are so many examples of this.
Rory, they're gonna make up for not getting Champions League revenue because Cole Palmer's gonna sign a sponsorship deal. And can
I do a comment from one of the people that always watches, right? That guy is saying, no, this is where I lose respect for Dan a little. Get your clicks, I guess. Man is like TMZ or something. You really, the guy, think that Dan is saying that to get clicks for Judge Mo channel?
Mate, I don't even get clicks on my own channel, so just do yourself a favor and just drop the perspective. Like,
that guy, like, really, my man, think that Dan is saying this. And by the way, I have to say this. Dan and Rory said that way earlier. We did a show where it was only 3 of us. And you both said that even in the summer that Chelsea needs to get Champions League football because some of the superstars, it's the same for Arsenal. We have the same for Arsenal. When we talk about Saliba, is he leaving? If Arsenal start not winning trophies, I'm like, yeah, it's a possibility that if Real Madrid come knocking or Barcelona, that challenge for the Liga, their head might be turned. It's just a fact. And it happens to every single club. And yet Cole Palmer signed a 10-year deal. We all know that. But that doesn't mean he's going to stay at Chelsea 10 years. Just think about it like this. If Chelsea don't play Champions League for 10 years, will Cole Palmer honor his contract because he has a 10-year contract? No, that goes for 1 or 2 years as well. That is the reality.
When did he sign that contract?
Recently as well, at end of last season.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Wage rise.
To be honest with you guys, I disagree with you. I don't think he leaves next season if Chelsea get Europa League. I think he plays Europa League, hoping to win it. It adds to his trophy cabinets. And if the club backs the manager and they go and get signings, I think he stays, to be honest. Because I don't think someone is going to pay the 150 mil that Chelsea will ask for Cole Palmer.
Really? You don't? I think there are teams out there that would pay that for him.
No. If you don't get Champions League, look at the form that it's Cole Palmer in now. If this continues, right? Cole Palmer has magnificent ability. There is not a lot of clubs in the world that will fork 150 million for a young player like this. It's not a lot.
Man City don't have any sort of buyback or anything.
No. Man City are not getting... Okay, I don't think Man City, even if Cole Palmer is 50 million, Man City are not getting him back. That ship has sailed, in my opinion.
I agree.
Reckon. I don't know.
I have a feeling...
I think that chapter's closed, I think.
Well, that's the thing. Without City, how many teams can really afford to go and get back?
I have a weird
feeling. That's true.
Don't say Liverpool will kick you out of the stream.
No, not us. Fucking hell. We wouldn't even.
Madrid would be the only ones.
No,
they don't
absolutely.
pay money, Rory. They haven't paid money. They don't pay money.
PSG.
PSG
if
was
they
who I
got
was going to
money.
say. I think they're going to move on Barcola in the summer to someone.
I don't
And then
think
they'll
Palmer
look-
would go PSG.
Yeah, I kind of hear that as
That-
well.
that-
No,
that's
He
the only
even
thing
goes
that
La
sticks in my head.
Liga. The only place I see him going, to be honest, is if Jamal Musiala leaves or Bayern Munich
Or
fail to get
Bayern.
Wirtz and Bayern Munich say,
Nah.
well, we're going to invest. Vincent by the way, remember, Cole Palmer was a youth team player at City when Vincent Kompany was the captain. So there is a relation there. That's the
I
only
think
place that I
both
think.
Manchester clubs have to be in consideration. I think United would love to make it their marquee signing,
It is
United-
the sort of mental thing that they
Okay.
would do.
and
He
he's
would-
United.
fan.
He's United as a kid.
But
I think
then,
you have to. You can't underestimate Cole
but then the
Palmer's.
motivation for leaving Chelsea, if we're saying that's to win trophies, he's going backwards if he joins United.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I'm just saying, like, if United were in a better position, I think they have to be considered. If they wanted to make him like the star of their rebuild as well, I think obviously and put him on huge wages, because that's the one thing United would guarantee is that he'd earn more money at United than he would at Chelsea in terms of base wage, because Chelsea have a wage cap, and I don't believe because he was so low on the wage level when he came in, I don't believe he's gone right to the very top yet either. I think he's probably up there.
I don't think we should be thinking about Cole Palmer now. I think we should be
Yeah, but I
thinking
think you
about
have to.
Chelsea finishing eighth.
Chelsea will just get Champions League football now, and then this conversation will be null and void.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
believe they get it. I don't believe they get it. You have to consider Cole Palmer staying at Chelsea. You have to have that conversation because he was bought in for 40 million. Any money on him is probably going to be good amount of profit for this ownership, who are definitely financial based and focused. And also Cole Palmer as a player for his own career has to be playing in the best competitions in European football, in football just
The
in
thing
general.
is, I just still think you'll get top 5. You've got quite a lot of easy get. You've got within
Rory,
your next.
we just had our easiest run. and we
No,
got
I know,
one
but
win in eight.
within your next 5 Premier League games, you've got West Ham at home, Southampton at home, and Leicester at home.
Yeah.
So, whereas if you look at like Forest, they've got like Brighton, and then I think they've got Newcastle.
You know what
away,
it falls off,
City,
Rory?
Arsenal.
You know what it falls off? Aston
What?
Villa away, Brighton away, Arsenal away. This
Yeah,
is
look
where
at our run in towards the end of the season as well.
forget the 2 games in the middle, Rory. These 3 games. It's 9 points. He can be way behind the pack, especially if Newcastle keep this stupid winning run.
No, I think Newcastle
And-
finished. I think they finished 5th.
Newcastle don't have any European football. That's the thing with Newcastle. They can keep their best players fit, playing one game
Yeah.
a week.
Newcastle 4th, Chelsea.
They are. By the way, Newcastle are gonna get a right winger and a centre back this window. They just sold Almiron to Atalanta this season.
Is he gone?
They're not going to get both. They can. I don't even think they'll get one. I don't think you understand.
Based on the latest PSR thing, Tom, they have some money to spend. They have some room.
They don't have much room. I think they've got about 25 million. What top? And for the level that Newcastle want to buy, they're best off just keeping that 25 million until it becomes 35 or 45 or 55. Then they can go get an actual guy who can impact the team rather than Miggy Almiron 2.0. I don't think Newcastle do any business, but I think that'll be all right for them.
They might sign Madueke, and I'll tell you what, I'd sell him in a heartbeat.
I know you would.
I believe that everyone has an agenda against Madueke.
He's
Everyone.
woeful.
It's not woeful.
He
Maresca
is,
setting him
though,
up
because
for
you know what?
failure. I
Technically
disagree with you.
and talent-wise,
He was bad against
has-
City.
he has the ability to be very, very good. But the way he applies himself is going to hinder him for the rest of his career in football unless he
Yeah.
changes.
If he performed like that for most top clubs, he would get hooked and he wouldn't play.
Yeah.
If I saw
I
an
believe
Arsenal
that
player
Maresca
play like
setting him
that,
up
I'd
for
never
failure.
spend- Play again.
No.
Maresca is
Maresca's
leaving him
given every
isolated.
chance
How?
because he keeps playing him. He's playing him when he's
No, it's not
even
about playing.
like that.
Not about playing. The
He's
problem
called him
with
out
Enzo
3
Maresca.
times and
Yeah, but
dropped him off the back of the
Let me explain to
training-related
you.
performance.
Let me explain to you. The problem with Maresca's system is that the right winger has no support whatsoever. It's the only position on the pitch that has 0 support. Against City, and I mentioned that many times, he had to dribble 2-3 guys to be able to get to the byline to even get a cross in. Maresca doesn't have his right back overlapping, doesn't have his right back supporting the guy at all, right? And that is why he's setting him up for failure.
Yeah, but
Isolate
Maresca-
Madueke with any
Maresca-
defender.
Maresca allows one of the centre midfielders to press up alongside Madueke to give him an option, and he also gives him an inverted fullback to retain possession. So it's not like Madueke is his approach to the game means that he often finds himself isolated because he'd rather take a man on, drive into a player where people aren't going to go with him that are on the same team. He'd rather go to the byline and then obviously no one follow him because then obviously there isn't that overlapping runner from fullback. But Madueke, talent-wise, is a good player. But Mo, when you score a goal that is as simple as easy as he did, and then have that approach to the rest of the game, like you've won it for Chelsea, and then you don't have to track back. I mean, did you see his attempts at keeping the offside line? Like, he's just not interested.
Anyway,
by the way,
I believe
people
Chelsea
ask
are
who
in
should start on
danger.
the right wing. I genuinely think there's a debate for Cole Palmer to play out there or Neto.
I actually believe at this point it's a must.
I think that
It's a must.
sometimes, like when Palmer's in those central areas, I don't know what your thoughts are, Dan, but like, sometimes he struggles from like a physicality perspective. I think that's reasonable to say. I think that if you popped him, it doesn't have to be touchline winger out wide, but you could give him like do a false winger situation. I think that might, in certain game states, that might be to his a benefit. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think it was under Poch. I think Poch definitely had him in that role a number of times last season. I think the issue that Maresca finds is that with his system-based approach, if he has a false winger, he doesn't have an overlapping fullback to then provide that edge of the pitch with width. I think that's where Maresca doesn't see that as being a possible option, to be honest.
Chelsea, for me, is a dilemma because it's a choice to hire an inexperienced manager, and now people are saying give him time. While you have talent in there, you spent a lot of money, results has to come in. It is no one's fault that the board chose this guy instead of signing an experienced boss. That is just reality, and people have to accept. Chelsea fans have to accept it. To be honest, have to accept it. I don't know what is going. To be honest with you guys, I actually have no idea what is going on in the chat.
Chelsea fans have to accept what? Just out of interest, because I don't know if they have to accept
that but that's the board. That is the board's decision.
Yeah, but I don't think Chelsea fans have to accept the board's decision. You don't have to accept the board's decision.
What would you do? What would you do?
I think Chelsea fans need to be extremely vocal here and make it very, very well known that they disagree with how the club is being run at the moment. That's what I think the fan base need to do. And I don't know whether or not that will do enough, but the last time they did that, I think ultimately this board heard it. Ultimately, they've shown, then they then proved they are not good enough to hire a manager that is going to potentially win them something. But I think Chelsea fans will make themselves known.
Can I address something before? Well, actually, Staffy joined. Can I address something?
Hello.
And why is Dan up there? You're a loser. You go down. Rory.
Wow.
Wow, crazy.
Hold on, I'm top of the fucking league. Why Arsenal?
Man, you're fucking top. What do you want?
I want to be center stage. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. The kid wants to be in the center stage.
Thank you.
It's okay. The youngest guy in the panel needs to be in the center stage. He's just gonna cry with his haircut.
Top of the Premier League, top of the
Is
Champions
the hair
League,
Leighton Baines inspired?
What the fuck is this?
No, it's just long.
Oh, okay.
Leighton Baines would be more of like a
Look at all of us having our hair and Tom is like
Next week we should all come in
together.
with the same style.
Can I address something before we go on? Welcome, Staffy. Thank you.
Hello.
Your mic is not coming through. It's coming through something else. You're very loud.
Snap.
Guys in the chat, there is something that is going on in the chat. Can we be respectful a little bit? People don't block people, but reality, just have some banter and talk, but don't block each other. Mods, do your job. I trust the people that I mod on this channel, but can we move on from the argument about stuff like that? So just move on. We're trying to have a good conversation about football. Okay, Becky, I don't know if there's someone called you that, just time them out for 5-10 minutes. That's it. I do, right? So stop blocking people. Like time them out, and that's it. Where were we?
We were talking about how great City are and how they're bloody back.
Habibi, you cannot. You know what? We can talk about that. You really said that you don't trust City to get top 5, so you have no face to say City are
Right.
great and everything.
Yeah, but I said that's why I said it in a tongue-in-cheek manner. I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't
mean it.
sense the.
That was not
No,
sincere.
no, the fact you believe that for even half a second after the way
Well,
you
you need
said
to get better at British sarcasm, I reckon.
No, he needs to
know.
get better at sarcasm. Period. Because
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
just
British,
sarcasm in general.
and I sensed it.
Yeah. I said something earlier and it went over his head.
Yeah, they're on you.
Yeah. City
I'm
City
older.
aren't back,
I'm
but-
older than you people.
So
That has
City aren't
nothing
back.
to do with age, but
No, that's not. Yeah.
I just want to say that it was probably one of, again, Chelsea didn't set up very well. I just want to say that was probably City's best performance of the season, to be fair. Again, Chelsea didn't help themselves, but I just, from a City perspective, I thought it was the best that we've played. Again, Chelsea helped us out there, but City still had to do the job. So big up to City. Now we're probably going to, no, we are going to lose against Arsenal. I know that much.
What-
But, you know.
Focus on
segue.
Club
Let
Bruges,
let
buddy.
me ask you this, Nobbins, real quick, just before we move
Well, yeah,
on.
bloody Bruges.
You've got Arsenal next week.
And then Liverpool and Spurs and a mental
You're
run
running
coming
this-
up now. Absolutely
Not
insane.
Tottenham. Not Tottenham. Oh, no.
Tottenham for City is like that.
Yeah, exactly. Tottenham for City is Real Madrid, essentially,
No,
especially at their
I was
ground.
Well, you got Arsenal next week. The week that's just gone was basically Jekyll and Hyde for City. I thought you'd done really well against Chelsea and horrendously bad against PSG. But there was 2 10-minute spells, which was the other side of it. Which level of performance do you think you're going to see against Arsenal? Is it going to be a PSG or a City? Just based on how Arsenal set up and everything.
My chat got.
You just
obsessed
want
with
this
it.
season to be over, don't you?
No.
You just want this season to be done and dusted. You don't want to be in this season anymore.
I was just looking ahead to the Arsenal game, and my chat called me very negative, and it was quite negative. I was just trying to be realistic. I just don't see how City score against Arsenal. I'm just trying to think of how.
It's a good segue. Can we, before we go to that game, can we talk about the Arsenal game and the title race? Okay, do everyone believe now that it's a 2-horse race? Halas, like, can we move on from the conversation about Forest and Chelsea and all this stuff, right? Let's just move on. Okay?
I can't rule out Forest.
Yeah, Habibi, the problem is everyone is like, what if Forest the Leicester? Halas,
They're not
move
done.
on.
Yeah, Mo, but that was my-
Ah, here we go. Here we go.
I
Here we
can't rule
go.
them out just yet. Look, Arsenal
we
lost
go.
to Bournemouth away.
Oh,
I
here we
can't
go.
rule out they lost to Bournemouth away. Ooh, a tough game. City lost to Bournemouth away. I've got to give Nottingham Forest a
That's a
bit
good
of
point.
respect. If it carries on, then yes, we can rule them out. But as it
Are
stands,
they
don't-
getting Cunha? What's the situation
Yeah, I was
there?
about to
do we
say,
know?
what if they get Cunha?
See,
That is
if they
big.
get
That is
Cunha-
big
if they
balls
get
play.
Cunha, oh my god!
I
What is
respect
Mo
Forest
doing
for that.
bro? Like
Yeah,
Cunha's
Habibi,
been
Nottingham Forest are not winning the league. I can bet my
How
house
no one
on
said
it.
that. Did you
That's
listen?
all.
First of all, you're getting relevant for no
hold
reason.
on. Who said they're going to win the
Reed?
league? I said title race. Nottingham Forest are still in a title race.
Yeah, that's all we said. The question
Arsenal-
was, is
if
it a
Arsenal in the title
two-horse
race-
title race?
But the thing is,
Nottingham Forest are in the title race.
I barely believe Arsenal are in the title race. Like we're in it by default of being second and not being out of it. But I don't think we're like in it. And if I think we're barely in it, like we're relying on. If this was a horse race, we are a good 10 lengths back with a couple of fences to go. We're relying on you hitting a fence and falling at
And
this
getting
point,
shot.
rather than
The rider's
yeah,
unconscious. It's just
yeah, rather than actually just naturally overtaking you. So based on that, I don't think Forest are in it.
Okay.
I'm going to give them.
We
a bit of
agree that
respect.
the run in now, from now until the end, is much easier for Arsenal. If Liverpool have to go to Villa away, City away, there's still Everton away. There's still way tough games for Liverpool than Everton away is. When is the last time you won against Everton away, Tom? How many games you have won over the past 6 games away at Everton? I believe Osam said it was 2 games only they won. Something like this.
Under Jurgen Klopp, it was 2 away games at Everton.
You haven't lost many though, have you?
Yeah, but the problem is a draw is enough to drop
We
2
draw
points.
them mainly.
Yeah.
We drew. No, we
I
won
believe
the first
Liverpool will
one.
win, though. I believe Liverpool will win, but I can't rule out a draw, though. I just can't. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, this is just 3 points in the bag." It's not. They're not.
I think under Klopp we lost one. We lost the very last one. We won 2, with the last one being 2021, and all the rest were varying degrees of draws from 0-0 to 2-2. But it's different with this manager, so I can't. It'll be tough. Obviously, it's going to be tough, but I'm not, as unsure because this manager doesn't manage games on emotions.
We address the elephant in the room first about the red card.
What the Marh Lewis-Skelly one?
Yeah.
No one here thinks it's a red card. We all agree. Only the PG Mall agree it's a red card.
Even
It's
Dermot
soft.
Gallagher. Even Dermot Gallagher thinks it's a yellow card. At that
Did the
point,
PGMO apologize for it yet or no?
no,
No,
they're
the
too-
PGMO
they're too
they're
easy.
gonna
No,
be
no,
so
no. The
stubborn.
PG Mall said that it's a correct red card.
What was the
Wow.
reasoning?
So this is interesting. So, call me a conspiracy theorist, but
Oh God.
You're an
PGMOL
Arsenal fan. We already assumed.
So PGMOL sent a journalist out on Sky Sports yesterday morning, Darren Lewis, who works with the Mirror. They knew he would be on Sky Sports yesterday morning. He comes out with a clear brief that PGMOL are standing by Michael Oliver, that they believe it was a red card because it was, quote unquote, extremely late and the contact was high. So they sent him out on yesterday morning to do that. Half an hour after that got posted on social media, Sky Sports posted the clip on social media. They edited it to then add in a part about how this was according to Darren Lewis to almost make it seem like it wasn't them. Half an hour after that, they then fully deleted that post. And so I think they were testing the waters by saying, we're going to stick by him. It unilaterally got laughed at that they tried to do it. So then they got Sky to take that post down. And now they're going to come back on it because there's just the evidence against that being a red card is so strong. And one of the worst I tweeted out today was Howard Webb defending Caicedo not getting sent off against Spurs, where Caicedo goes in, studs up, direct contact to the shin, and all of the reasons that he used for that correctly being a yellow card and not a red card apply tenfold to Marmoush Lewis-Skelly's one in terms of there's no excessive force. It glances off the leg, but then down onto the floor. Like all of those excuses he's used before to justify a yellow card. So I think it will get overturned. I think they will eat humble pie. And that's why they've now pivoted to poor Michael Oliver. He's the victim. And we all need to stop complaining and stop criticizing referees because, they get messages of abuse, which, of course, they shouldn't get those messages.
Don't get me wrong. Based on the way the laws are, it's never a red card. It's a horrendous decision. But by virtue of what it was, in my eyes, I do think that stuff like that could be could and should be a red card in the future because it's 2 yellow card offences in one. Marh Lewis-Skelly knows what he's doing in trying to stop an attack, and that's smart, and that's a yellow card offence. And the way he's fouled him, the way he's caught on the ankle, is never a red card, and that's where I agree with you. They said it was a red card for serious foul play. That's never a red card. It's a yellow card. To me, I know this is not how the rules work, and therefore it shouldn't be a red card as it stands. But in my mind, it's 2 yellow card offences in one. So I would like it in the future at points for that to be a thing which is considered. If you try and tactically foul someone, and in turn also catch them with a yellow card where they foul, it should be a red card in my eyes. But that's not the rules right now. So that Marmoush Lewis-Skelly one shouldn't have been a red card.
Yeah, I don't think that should be. I think you should actively try and avoid having players sent off and going down that road of. I mean, it was just a standard tactical foul. I think that's the thing, and I don't want to see red cards for that, for or against Arsenal, because it was, especially at that point in the game, it just came out of the blue completely and flipped the game on its head and made the entire game, even though Arsenal ultimately won it, the entire game now is about a refereeing decision once again. And people think that Arsenal fans love to complain about refs. I promise you we don't. I promise you we would rather have come out of that game with probably the comfortable win that we were on track for and just moving on. But this season especially, it's just it's controversial decision after controversial decision. And that's why you then end up with some fans that think it's intentional.
Let me do a couple of the super chats before, because I want to put a statement on. One horse race if Arsenal don't get an attacker. We'll see. But I don't know why I have this feeling that this result will actually kick on Arsenal season. I'm not sure they're going to go and win every game, but I'm sure this is going to a little bit give some hope. I think it's a red, but Rory believes that Michael Oliver is a member of Illuminati.
Pick up Toby.
I don't. I'd probably have more respect for him if he was actually a functioning member of some sort of, deep conspiracy. The fact is, he's just a knob that hates Arsenal and makes decisions against us. That's far more pathetic. If he was a member of the Illuminati, I'd go fair play to him.
Do you agree with
something.
the theory that he sent Lewis-Skelly off so he's suspended for the second leg?
No, I put that out as a bit of a.
Oh, that was you. But I thought that was someone else.
It was me that put it out. No, it was me that put it out. I mean, some people probably copied it. You've got, any chance to use the picture of Michael Oliver in a Newcastle United shirt, I'm going to use it. So yeah,
I've noticed.
We caught a few big ones. We did catch a few big ones.
I've noticed.
But
I believe that, to be honest with you, I don't know why I have this feeling that this will put Arsenal a little bit more on the front foot in terms of next game. Yes, I have a feeling that it will. Calafiori's back, Saliba's back.
It should, if Arteta's smart, it should stoke the everyone against us mentality. And
the problem is that's already been stoked about 5 times this season. So we're constantly getting stoked.
But has it though? Because those games where it's happened, you didn't go on to win.
Well,
this one you have done.
Yeah.
In the other games, it was everyone's against us and they're stopping us from winning. But now it's everyone's against us. But despite that, we will still win. And that's a different sort of mentality. It happened with us last season. And you win that game, you win that moment, and all of a sudden, you ride that wave of momentum for about a month or two. And that could...
It's all they need. All they need is a month or two. All Arsenal need is a month or two, by the way.
This is why, going back to the super chat about
month or two, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, but to start going on good results, Arsenal haven't won more than 3 games in a row since the beginning of the season. Tom, all they need is just a good run. I believe next weekend, if Arsenal win against City, which is a plausible result, and Liverpool don't win against Bournemouth away, I think at that point it's 4 points behind. And I have a feeling that Arsenal will get a forward, whoever that.
If Arsenal were going to get a forward, they would have got him by now.
No, they were trying with the Cisco thing and it didn't work out.
No, there's 4 days left of the window.
Not 4, there's 7. There's 6. It closes the 3rd.
It ends on the 3rd of February.
Why does it close on the 3rd?
Whatever, I don't know. It's not.
What happens to closing on the 1st?
I don't make the rules, bro. I don't make the rules.
Where's the green wall? Where's the green wall? Where's Sean Dyche with his green wall? What also woke nonsense is the transfer window closing it on the 3rd?
Yeah, I think
there was a reason for it. I can't remember what it was, but
it now.
But no, when it comes to Arsenal signing an attacker, the only one that I now think is plausible is Evan Ferguson on loan. And for that to happen, it also means that we need to either make Norberto Neto a permanent signing, despite the fact he's never played for the club, or we send him back. Now, which is a gamble in itself, because then we have no other senior keeper other than David Raya at the club. So, but the reason I don't think we'll go out and sign a striker, as in actually like make a permanent signing, is that we would have done it already, and we've missed the boat on that player coming in and being useful. Like if we'd done that at the start of January, we might have saved the FA Cup, we might have saved the Carabao Cup, we might have saved what is now potentially the Premier League that we might have already thrown away. To do it now, we've only got 6 Premier League games between now and the 1st of April. Like, we don't have a busy schedule at all. Between now and the 1st of April, Arsenal play 6 Premier League games. That's it. And we've got 2 Champions. If you ignore the Girona game, because it doesn't matter what the result is, we've got 2 Champions League games that actually matter, which will be the round of 16.
So basically, you have 8 games because you're out in the cup, and you're not coming back against Newcastle.
Yeah, so we've got 8 important games in over 2 months, and then after, at the end of that, you've got Saka back. And the majority of the squad is now fit, other than Gabriel Jesus and Saka. So, yeah, I think we'll get through the City, Girona, and then Newcastle games.
I don't see you winning against City without signing someone.
Who do you think we sign now that wins us the game?
I don't know. I don't know.
Arsenal are only going to have 1 starter out though on Sunday. Saka. They've got everyone else, haven't they?
No, Jesus and Lewis-Skelly now.
Jesus.
So the issue is
that's not a starter.
No, but the argument I have with that, because I've seen people do this before, is if you lose a starting player and then you lose the starting player's backup, and then you lose the starting player's backup's backup. That has a compounding effect on the other starting player. Like Havertz is dead on his feet. He literally collapsed at the end of the Wolves game. Martinelli, Trossard, they are running on empty. But I think we can get through Girona, City, and Newcastle, and then we go to Dubai for 10 days and come back from that fresh. So,
why do you
I
go
think
to
we're
Dubai?
right.
Is it a break?
We've got a break because we're out of the FA Cup.
Oh, so you're a break
So
there.
we have a 10-day break between Newcastle in the Carabao Cup and then
Leicester
in the Premier League, and then we've got another week without a midweek game because we're not going to be in the Champions League playoffs before we play West Ham. So yeah,
Can I put the two super chats because they're opposing each other? Michael Oliver and the PGML are a danger to football. Right, look at this now. And the end is saying good and bad calls go and against every club. Get over it. You guys won the match on a corner, won a match on a corner that wasn't a corner. Should we talk about that? Move on now.
This is it's just okay. The corner thing, right? A referee getting a corner or goal kick decision wrong is very, very different to sending someone off in the first half for a straight red that isn't a straight red. Those sorts of decisions happen every game. That it is just not even comparable. Literally, in that same game that it happened, Tottenham had a corner that should have been a goal kick as well. They just didn't score from it, right? Good and bad calls go for and against every club. I agree to a certain extent, but you cannot tell me that Arsenal getting 2 red cards for kicking the ball away when we now factually know that that is not a rule because Gomez did it in the same game against Arsenal before he got his second yellow. He kicked the ball away whilst on a yellow and didn't get sent off. And Michael Oliver watched him do it, the same Michael Oliver that sent Trossard off for doing it. And we've seen dozens of examples. So we know that's not a rule. The Saliba red card, where a yellow got upgraded to a red card, we then saw 4 examples within the next couple of weeks where all of them got given yellow cards, VAR didn't upgrade it. The João Pedro penalty, Brighton, you have never, ever seen someone come out and say, well, yeah, Saliba won the ball, but actually the ball hit him. Right? That's never been a thing. And now this one, where a cynical trip is given as a red card. In fact, all season we've seen dangerous fouls actually not given as red cards. Actively, I've made videos myself when it didn't even affect Arsenal, asking why so many dangerous fouls were not being given as straight reds. It was like the threshold had been increased. You had Caicedo against Pat Matasar, Lallana against Liverpool, Estupinian on Kilman where he nearly snaps his leg. There's so many of them, right? The ones down the back of the Achilles, so many of them. None of them given as straight reds. And then it happens against Arsenal. Now, for me, the big difference is not even to do with other clubs outside of the top 4. It's about if you compare it to Man City and the decisions against. Michael Oliver has refereed just over 50 Arsenal games. He has sent Arsenal players off 8 times. He has never sent a Man City player off in 50 games, right? That is, I refuse to believe that is normal, especially when you look at, for example, Kovacic puts a red card foul in on Ødegaard. It's only given as a yellow. Then he puts in another blatant bookable foul in on Declan Rice and doesn't even get a yellow for it.
What's your conclusion from that, Rory?
My conclusion.
A lot of implications going on here. I want to hear an actual conclusion from you, please.
Well, one of the conclusions is Michael Oliver massively has a problem with Arsenal in terms of historically.
Yeah, I wasn't just talking about this action. I was talking about general this season, and indeed last season, I suppose.
Well, generally this season, I think Arsenal have been on the wrong end of.
He's putting him on the spot.
Five controversial decisions. I don't have a reason for that people will think is anything other than a conspiracy theory. However,
that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, do you think there is a conspiracy against Arsenal? Basically,
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think they all sit in a dark room and go, "Oh, how are we going to ruin Arsenal this week?" I think that there are a group of men, predominantly from the same part of the country, that have historically been embarrassed by Arsenal managers. Yeah, mainly Manchester. That have been, from Arsene Wenger saying if he, when he decides whether he wants to go to heaven or hell, he'll find out where the referees are first. To Arteta calling them out after that Newcastle game and then beating them when he was taken to court. I think there is a deep-rooted ill feeling towards Arsenal that contributes to bad decisions. I think in the case of Michael Oliver, It is extreme. And the thing is, people talk about it being a conspiracy theory. Liverpool fans were onto David Coote before he got exposed for hating them. But if a Liverpool fan said, David Coote has an agenda against us, everyone would have gone, no, don't. All refs make mistakes. It's not a Liverpool thing. And then it comes out, oh, no, actually, he does hate them. And then you look back at those decisions and you go, oh, that makes sense. Now, just because Michael Oliver hasn't been dumb enough to record himself saying he hates Arsenal Football Club does not mean that he doesn't. And we've established that hating, when you have that feeling, which it's very possible to do, you make bad decisions against that team. That statistically, Oliver's stats against Arsenal in terms of more red cards for Arsenal than any other club that he's refereed against, more red cards per game than any other club, more penalties against Arsenal than any other club per game. And you're not talking about like a defensive team here. You're talking about a team that dominates most of their games. For those stats to exist, it's just not normal.
Can I just ask how many people are involved in this then? Because it's not just the referee, is it? It's also the assistants and the people in the VAR room as well. So how high up does this go, and how many individuals are involved in this anti-Arsenal, whether it's unconscious bias or actual bias?
No idea, but that can of worms will never be opened, will it? Because PGMOL is run like the mafia. Howard Webb, with his background in the police force, which, let's be honest, they know how to cover something up, he knows exactly what to do. So he comes out instantly. Mo, if you understood the police in this country, especially the specific regional police force.
I'm Egyptian. I'm Egyptian. Just Google that.
So, sorry, are you saying it is the PGMOL as an organisation, or are you saying it's certain people within the PGMOL? So there's a big difference there.
Be both.
I think it's certain people, but then I think that when those people make mistakes, the cover up and the way that they cover it up, it comes from Howard Webb. It undoubtedly comes from Howard Webb. Yesterday, yesterday, sending someone out into the media to, Darren Lewis to go and say, well, actually, they're standing by him. No, actually, that's not working. So we'll make Sky delete that. When do you ever see Sky just randomly delete posts? But okay, so Sky delete that. Then okay, so that route hasn't worked. So now we'll go down the route of poor Michael Oliver. So we'll release the statement that coincides perfectly at the end of the Aston Villa game on Sky, so that Jamie Redknapp can sit there and give a massive speech on Sky about how awful it is that Michael Oliver's getting abused. If you don't think this is coordinated, even down to the fact that Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville were absolutely silent.
So now Sky are involved in this as well.
I just love the idea that Howard Webb's fucking.
To be honest with you guys, Nobbins, I can hear what you're.
I'm just trying to establish how many individuals are involved in this. That's all.
I started believing what Rory's saying. Okay, guys, when he mentioned the quota thing, people kept rubbishing Liverpool's fans' opinions about he hates us until he literally said on camera, I fucking hate them.
David.
So what is stopping me from believing that Michael Oliver said that but never recorded? But he was never recorded.
David Coote wasn't the main referee that we hated. Still isn't, to be fair.
Who is?
It was Paul Tierney.
Where's his video?
I know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Anthony Taylor's actually.
His video was the one that I want.
I'd just be interested to see a list of all these people, that's all.
But we'll never know. But it's definitely not a conspiracy to say that Sky and PGMOL have a relationship, because they literally do. Howard Webb goes onto a Sky
I'm not
TV
saying they
program.
don't have a relationship, but the implication was they were involved in this conspiracy, whatever words you want to use.
Can I say something? Hold on. Rory, can I ask you a question? What is the motive behind this conspiracy? It cannot be we want to stop Arsenal from winning the league, because that would be ludicrous. Just if we sit here and say that there is a conspiracy to prevent Arsenal from winning the league, this is kind of.
I guess that's the conclusion, isn't it? Because it used to be, again, I've been down this track before. It was with Liverpool fans a few years ago. It used to be City are in bed with them. It's in order to make City win the title.
Were in bed with them.
First, Tom. And now City aren't involved in that, and now it's Liverpool who are doing well, and now they're apparently sabotaging Arsenal to help. So a few years ago they were sabotaging Liverpool. Now they're helping.
No, Nobbins. I'll give you the timeline. City were in bed with the PGMOL. Then the David Coote video come out. So the PGMOL are now going to give Liverpool a league title in the hope that we'll forgive them.
Understood.
And Arsenal just
oh my god!
See, I don't believe in those conspiracies.
Tinfoil hat. This is as someone said in the that's tinfoil hat now. I
don't believe in that. I generally just believe that there is even a disliking in terms of if we're having conversations online, I've seen multiple clips recently of podcasts and stuff having conversations about why Arsenal are the most hated fan base. Even if you don't think that kind of feeling spreads towards referees, I think it does. And then it almost compounds itself. So you get referees make slightly bad decisions against Arsenal because they don't like them. Then that gets jumped on by Arsenal fans. So then they don't like them. Like if Michael Oliver, and we take it at face value from that statement, that Michael Oliver has been receiving and his family have been receiving death threats and abuse. The next time Michael Oliver referees an Arsenal game, do you believe that abuse that he suffered and his family and the threats that they've suffered, that is nowhere in his mind whatsoever? Because that compounds over time. And we have this rolling problem with them that at the very least under Arteta, you've had Michael Oliver sent Martinelli off for 2 bookings in the same phase of play, which you've never seen again. You've had the decisions against City last season. You've had now the ones this season sending off Trossard. I just think the problem compounds itself. PGMOL don't address it. Yeah, the lack of transparency, I think, is insane when it comes to PGMOL.
Before we continue this, I know Nobbins and Dan, they have to go now. So if you guys have to go now, it is fine. We're just going to continue with the talk. Appreciate you both. Both channels are in the description, Dan and Nobbins. So go check Nobbins' Marmoush video, please.
Go watch my Marmoush video. It is very good. Mo can confirm.
See you guys. Appreciate you.
Bye.
So look, ultimately, I think we could talk about the motives. We could talk about, the depths of the conspiracy. I actually think it's irrelevant because we'll never know unless.
But there has to be something in your head. I want to be honest with you. I sit here. You raise a very good points. What it's in your head? Why are they doing this? There has to be a reason why the PGM doing this.
Well, one of the reasons I do believe is just literally location based. That there is a strong English based thing where there's the north-south divide, right? Northerners in particular hate Southerners. The fact that there is not a single referee in the Premier League that is from London or any of the home counties, so basically anywhere from London or south of London, I think that is a massive problem. A massive problem. I think the fact that it's one massive boys' club is a massive problem. Remember a couple of years ago when Lee Mason lost his job with PGMOL because he, which again, just conveniently cost Arsenal 2 points in the title race against City because he didn't draw the line. Lee Mason now has a job coaching referees within PGMOL. So the new generation that are coming through are being coached by a guy who was so bad that they sacked him. But it's jobs for the boys. When you hear them on the VAR, they're all calling themselves mate. There are very simple ways that we can fix PGMOL. Very simple ways. But it all involves taking the power away from Howard Webb, which for some reason he has this massive power. And it's like, why yesterday is a journalist going out on Sky and telling the world what he's been told by PGMOL rather than just Howard Webb? We've all got Zoom. Why isn't Howard Webb coming out the next day and trying to explain that decision instead of waiting 2 weeks to then go on a show with Michael Owen where it's all pre-written and it's all pre-recorded? Like that lack of transparency is insane, in my opinion.
I agree to your point.
Before Tom goes, let me do the super chat.
I agree with the media stuff because that happened with us after the Tottenham game last year. If you go look at what Gary Neville said immediately after the Tottenham game, and then the following day, because we played on the Saturday and there was a Super Sunday, and the 180 that man done in his stance on it was crazy, and it was because the PGMOL had got to Sky and said, "Look, we'll sort you out with this show, but change your coverage." That I agree with. The part about how it's all this, big sort of boys, lads thing, this, that, and the other. I think, look, if you want to believe that, believe it. I just think that the simple matter of fact is it's just pure and utter incompetency.
I actually disagree. I actually have another theory.
It's incompetency backed by the fact that they're never going to lose their jobs because the refereeing in this country and the standards in this country are never going to allow for foreign referees to come in. Therefore, there is the most secure job in football is a Premier League referee, because the only thing that you could fuck up 4 weeks in a row. Well, and then you'll have to referee Preston Plymouth.
Yeah, you might go and referee a championship.
You referee Preston Plymouth for a week. Don't fuck up there. Welcome back.
I'm gonna move on
Yeah.
from that. I have one simple explanation. Referees, they want attention, and referees want entertainment, and that is why he gives a red card. I said again, he couldn't wait to give a red card. He couldn't
Well, yeah.
wait. He could
Yeah.
that look on his eyes when he saw that challenge, like, okay, there's
was instant.
entertainment here.
But then
I'll be in the headline tomorrow.
I agree. But then,
And the problem is that doesn't happen only for Arsenal. By the way, the Bruno Fernandes red card against Spurs. The referee's eyes lit, bro. He's
Yeah.
like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the Dallo, the 2 yellow cards for Dallo. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be in the headlines tomorrow. This is pure
So-
entertainment. They gave me a chance. The Rice red card, which is I agree with, but you could have waited. You know what I mean? Like Michael Oliver goes to give the red card, and then he knows he's gonna be the center. He could have waited. Very simple for Part to tell him, by the way, there's studs up. Can you go and check it out? The Bruno Fernandes one, it was very obvious that it's not a record. By the way, it was very obvious. It's a side foot. It's a trip that happens every game 5-6 times.
So
He
I
chose
agree
to
with-
give the record. That is
Yeah.
my explanation for it.
I agree with them wanting controversy and liking the limelight. But when then it comes down to individual clubs and the way individual clubs are treated, why did Michael Oliver not send off Kovacic against Arsenal when he had not one?
Because
but
it's
two
because he
opportunities
didn't
send
want
them off?
to ruin the game.
Right.
They told him not to. Bro, Howard Webb said it. He
Yeah.
said he is instructed not to ruin the game early. It's like,
So this is the difference. So Arsenal have now had arguably 5 games ruined this season by controversial decisions. When was the last time Man City had a game ruined by a controversial decision that went against Man City?
Liverpool goal with Akanji's hand on Alisson. You can go both ways. It's a controversy as well. That is an effective game, to be honest. There are other games as well. Like, we have to be honest. It's not, I agree with you, it's not as much as Liverpool in the last 5 seasons or Arsenal in the last 5 seasons. But there are controversial decisions against Man City. There are some. Oh, Ryan Mason, sir, what's his name? When Grealish was running and he's like, beep, beep,
Right,
beep.
but that's
Okay,
kind of my
running.
point. The fact that you the only two that people can
I have
think
to
of
be
that
honest
wanna-
here.
But that's the only 2 people can ever name. You've just named the 2. The goal against Liverpool, which I think at the time was when they'd had that weird clamp down on not being allowed to touch goalkeepers, and then the Jack Grealish where he accidentally didn't play advantage. Which, let's be real, not playing advantage on the halfway line is not the same as a straight red card or a penalty or a disallowed goal, right? But that's the only 2 that you can think of in the past, I don't know how many years. And I think that in itself is telling.
I'm
That
sure if you
Arsenal have
ask
5
City
of them
fan,
this
they will give
season.
you. The problem is,
No, they're the same
big-
2 that City fans give.
no, if
genuinely.
City fans start counting, you know why City fans don't count the decisions? Because they win the games, even with the decisions against them, and they win the league. If you lose, you
It's not
start
true.
counting decisions.
That's not true.
If
No,
you
but
win,
there aren't
You
any,
won't count
though.
the decision.
When have we ever spoken about a controversial Man City
I need,
decision
if
this
anyone
season?
in the chat, a City fan, and I know there's a
City
lot
are
of them.
City are losing this season more than ever, and we still haven't had a single controversial decision that's gone against City this season. That's the point. And we've got maybe half the controversial decision from last season.
I don't know. I want City fans to answer that. I'm not a City fan. Anyway.
They can't. The City fans will give you the same 2 examples. That's the only 2
That-
examples there are.
The guy is a Chelsea fan. He's saying that call was a match fixing corruption. By the way, I actually believe it might have been that he waited for that. Someone that he knows bet on someone getting a red card and he couldn't wait.
Maybe.
Sports and referees can be corrupt. Jamal needs to be. I know that's a big accusation. I'm just throwing all the possibilities out there. Needs to be gone. Even NFL, Bills versus Chief Gape was pure corruption. Corruption happens everywhere. Even in here, there is someone that is investigated for fumbling the ball when it was just an easy catch. I don't know who, but I think that's what the guy is talking about. Tips for asking for conclusion to the word soup. Tips for, I don't know, Dan Carlito, what does that mean? Tip for asking for conclusion to the word soup. What does that even mean? Can someone explain? Anyone know?
I think
I think
word
only
soup-
Carlito can explain.
Well,
Dan Carlito can explain.
word soup is like a way of saying like someone's just kind of waffling. But
Oh, okay.
so I think he's basically saying here's $2. I'm asking you to stop talking, which isn't really how a thing like this works.
It's basically every 6.75 games, 1 red card. That's for what's his name? Michael Oliver.
For Arsenal, yeah.
Yes. Simple.
Maybe Arsenal should just stop committing red card fouls then.
But this is what everyone goes back to.
Here
Everyone
we
says,
go.
"Oh no, they're all red cards."
Here we go.
He's
But
joking.
that's the thing. We've had 4 red cards this season, and all 4 of them would have been less controversial if they'd not been good. We could very easily be on 0 red cards this season, and no one would be saying Arsenal should have had a red card in any of those.
The Saliba one should have been red.
This will
With the other
happen.
ones, I agree.
And I get Staffy's opinion on the Arsenal, not the red card. Football.
Thank God, because I don't want to talk about the referees. I'm not gonna lie. You want my opinion on Arsenal, like on the game?
Before you go on, Dunkerlito, I was tipping Nobbins for asking for a conclusion, and he did. He did ask for a conclusion, Nobbins. Okay, thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, Habibi. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Staffy.
What was your question? You're saying my opinion?
Okay,
on
there's
Arsenal?
one question for Arsenal. Will they go and try to win the league? Because Rory doesn't believe they are actually in a title race. It's just as simple. You're from outside. You're picking 13th in the league or 12 now.
I'm sitting 12 now.
He's basically just said, Staffy, this ain't your battle. So what do you reckon's going on?
He could have just said it's not your battle and stopped there. He had to remind me where I am in the table as if it's relevant.
It's not your battle.
Great. It's great
ain't
to
doing
have
the
a
big
dig at the
fight.
entitled fan base of England. It's great to have a dig at
You
the
ain't
entitled
doing the big fight at the castle. You're doing the little fight in the forest. What could you see happening in the big fight in the castle from your little fight in the forest?
At least you're ahead of Crystal Palace and West Ham now.
Hey, listen, I had big 3 points yesterday, so I'm in a good mood. But no, on a real though. No, my opinion on Arsenal. I mean, listen, I was listening to Rory, and he's saying they meant to get Evan Ferguson, and I don't know if you go back and rewind. I chuckled a little bit when he said that. You know, I was on mute. You couldn't hear me because I'll be honest, bro. If that's the only attacking option Arsenal going for, how annoying is that? How disappointing is that? You know, Rory said it the best. He thinks Arsenal are in the title race by default. It takes more than one person for you to actually be in a race. Because I heard people saying, no, it's a one team race. It's not a race, is it? You can't just race yourself and say I won the race. If I go run in the parking lot right now, I can't celebrate and say I won because there was no one competing with me.
If you're the only guy there, you lose the race as well.
If I what?
If you're the
You're
only guy
both first
racing,
and
you
last.
win and lose. You're first and last.
True. You are the winner and the loser because you finished first and second. But anyways, no, it would be annoying. I don't know, Mo. Today's the 27th, so there's 6 days left. What striker are they pulling off in the next 6 days?
What about it? Can be a winger. It can be a winger. It can be a
Okay,
goal
what
scoring
attacker
winger.
are they pulling off in the next 6 days?
I don't know. It can be a winger. Anyone.
Mo, okay, so
No,
what do you
no,
want us to
but-
do?
but
Like,
Mo,
we can all
this
sit here and
is the
speculate.
point. There is a week to go in the window. Which top quality attacker can Arsenal add with a week to go in the January window?
In 6 days, like what deal are they coming out of nowhere and pulling off? Because the only reason we said Evan Ferguson today is because we woke up to the rumors that now, well, not rumors, the news is that Brighton are going to loan him out. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw that, I just tried to remember when's the last time I seen him play football, and I don't remember. I just don't. Maybe he had a cameo here and there this season that just went under the radar. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. So he hasn't been relevant, is what I'm trying to say, for well over a season right now. So if that's your answer to a title race,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
no.
what do you want me to say? That's
Yeah,
a pathetic answer, bro.
No, but everyone is not giving Arsenal any hope in
I
the
didn't say
title if
that.
they
I'm
don't
just
sign a
saying they
striker.
gotta give us
I don't give them hope. But based on what Rory said, Saka will be back after this 8 game. 6 only in the Premier
Bro,
League. So
let
Arsenal-
Saka rest, bro. Saka this, Saka that. Let the guy just heal, bro. The guy's in his
Habib, he's gonna come back at some point in his life.
Bitch, I
man.
didn't
We
say
can
that,
just
but the
say that.
guy's right now.
He's not dead, bro.
He's
not dead.
laying
He
in
just has
bed,
an
and
hamstring
people are
injury.
talking about, oh, when he comes back. Habibi, how about you do something until he comes back? Like we always talk about Saka. Let the guy rest, bro. The guy got his first big injury in his career, and instead of them putting pressure right now, I mean, to be fair, they are putting pressure on the ownership to get someone. We're talking about, yeah, but when Saka comes back, who cares, bro? When Saka comes back, he still needs help anyways. Like, what does that even mean? Where's the signings, bro? Go sign someone. You're still in a title race. How many points are they behind? They're 6 points behind, right?
6 points, and we got a game in hand.
And a game. Okay, so we'll ignore that for now. It is factual right now. They're only 2 games behind. Go and act upon that. But you're asking me a question that no one has the answer to. The biggest of Arsenal fans don't have the answer. How can I find that answer? We all know what they need to know.
Okay, can I ask something? Just for the question, are we ruling out Arsenal playing good without signing someone? Can we just establish that?
No, they can play good and not win some games, and there will be some bad games. Don't get me wrong.
It depends.
Oh,
It
let
depends
me
what you
hold on,
define
hold
as
on,
good.
Tom, hold on. Well, let me put the context. Conclude number one, the givens are Arsenal have an easier run, and me and Rory have been talking about this for a while, right? Since the beginning of the season. That at the end of the season, Arsenal have an easier run in than everyone else. Liverpool, are they gonna struggle? We don't know yet. It depends on the next game. You go to the Etihad. Liverpool can lose 6 points in the next 2 weeks. You can. Man City are coming to the Emirates. Are we really now that Arsenal can catch Liverpool if Liverpool don't win against Bournemouth and Man City? Saying.
Again, no, that was instant worst case scenario for Liverpool, best case scenario for Arsenal.
Is it plausible?
Anything's plausible. You know what? About in 2 weeks' time, Liverpool could be 12 points clear.
Okay.
That's the thing. We missed 10 days, maybe a couple of games without Saliba because he tweaked his hamstring in that Tottenham game. You lose him for 2 months, then never mind what we're doing in attack. Our defense is massively, but equally, Van Dijk gets injured and Gravenberch gets injured. They've met Van Dijk, Gravenberch, and
Salah.
Yeah, their 3 most important players have started every game for them this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you assume that one of them or more of them might get injured, or do you assume that they'll be able to continue to do that? Like, it's not predictable, but logically, Arsenal aren't in the race unless something like that happens.
I think, look, when you talk about run-ins, on paper, yes, we've got a tough run-in. Matter of fact is we're the best away team in the Premier League this season. We haven't lost away from home. We seem to be very solid on the road. We're able to get business done when we go away from home. If that continues for at least the next month, then I think we're fine. And we'll
100%. If you go to City, if you win against Bournemouth away, if you go to Villa away and win, okay, let's wrap up the league. Yes, but that's not how football works. It's not how football works.
Yeah, but our next 4 Premier League
so let me
games.
ask you, Tom. Then the question. Let me ask you straight. Do you expect to win against City at the Etihad?
Yes.
Okay. Do you expect to win against Villa away?
Yes.
Do you expect to win against Bournemouth away?
Yes.
Okay. Kalas. So Tom thinks that Liverpool will win the league. Is that very logical with everyone in the everyone?
I don't see why it's outlandish to say that I expect to win those 3 games when Bournemouth.
Because you never win at the Etihad.
Yes, but this is not the Man City that we've never beaten.
Okay.
This is a Man City that just this week got battered 4-2 by PSG. This is the thing that I'm saying. Bournemouth away, yes, they are in a really rich vein of form at the minute. But if you look at their squad, they are on their absolute bare bones. They don't have any bench options. They've got like 1 or 2 bench players, and their players coming back from injury. When they played, who did he beat 4-1? I'll find it now. When they beat Newcastle, they did not have a single senior player on the bench. They had 11 fit players. That was it. They've now got 12 or 13. They still have no fit striker to end the season. Are they in a really rich vein of form? Yes. Do I think Liverpool should still be able to beat Bournemouth? Yes.
That's a tough game to come, though.
It is a tough game. I'm not discounting the fact that it's going to be a tough game. I just think we should have enough to get the job done. Then you've got Everton away. Now that's a tough game because it's a derby. Should Liverpool be beating Everton now? Yes. Then you've got City away. Tough game. Should Liverpool be beating this season's Manchester City? Yes. We've already done it this season. We should be able to do it again. Then you've got Aston Villa away. Liverpool, bar the 7-2 that we had with them in COVID, Liverpool's away record at Villa is really strong. Do I think Liverpool can get a result away from home against Villa? Yes. And this is all on the basis that Arsenal, in the same period of time, win. The matter of fact is, I don't think we need to be perfect to end the season. I don't think we need to be close to perfect because I don't think Arsenal will be. I think Arsenal aren't there at this point. That as Rory said, that attack looks dead on its feet. It's so tired. So even if we were to slip up, I don't think this Arsenal team is like the Arsenal team of last year that put together that ridiculous run and we'll just keep winning. And
I agree with you on this, to be honest. I don't see Arsenal winning. I just think that Liverpool might drop points. Are Arsenal going to do the job? Like, to be honest with you, I actually think if Arsenal win against City next season, they give themselves a good chance. Next week, they give themselves a good chance. Next week. This weekend. But listen, I think we'll see. It's 6 days. Maybe by the time we do this show, Arsenal will sign someone and this whole conversation will be different.
Do you think
know
they'll
what I mean?
sign someone more?
Oh, yeah. I said that.
No.
No, but who? Give me a name, Mo.
Yeah,
Habibi, I'm not a
listening.
scout. I'm not a scout.
now
I'm not
we're
like
doing
you.
this. I'm not a scout. Give me
Habibi,
a
I've
name.
been maintaining this forever. I've
No,
never.
Mo.
Wait, but
in
no
your
one has to
gut,
be a scout.
in
Mo. It's
your
not like they're
gut,
gonna sign.
in
they're not
your
gonna
I'm
sign
gut,
gonna tell you. I'm
League
gonna tell you. I'm
17.
gonna tell you.
Well, we might
believe-
sign this. We might sign this Norwegian 18-year-old Sverre
Isn't
Nypan.
he a
He's
midfielder,
already in
though?
London.
Yeah, he's a midfielder. He's actually he's occasionally played as a second striker. Like he is a bit of a goal scorer.
Oh,
That's the only one we
so
might
you just
sign.
bought another version of Havertz.
But better, hopefully. And we're not involved
just-
yet.
My
Mad,
reasoning is, I believe with Jesus being out for the whole season, Saka's been out for a while. Arsenal are going in the Champions League. Winning games in the Champions League mean that Arsenal get more money. I believe they're gonna go and sign someone. Who is that someone? It shouldn't be. There are names everywhere in the Bundesliga and in the La Liga and in Italy.
Mateus
I don't know who.
Tell from Bayern Munich on loan is something else that we might end up doing.
Yeah,
Because
but
he wants
Chelsea
game time.
really want him.
Can I go?
But,
Can
yeah,
I
but
put-
he doesn't
can I
want. He
put-
doesn't want to go to Chelsea. Apparently.
Yeah.
What if Arsenal go and say, you have Kvaratskhelia, Barcola wants to go, maybe. They tempt them with money, a winger for the summer. And it helps them in the summer because now they don't have to look for a winger. And it's just faster embedding in the squad. What if that happens? We're all agreeing that Arsenal have the money, right? They're just waiting for the right opportunity. Arteta said that. Arteta said, we're not going to sign someone panic. We're tracking some prospects. We're going to sign the one who's good for the squad. Maybe that is the signing because he was linked to Chelsea. He was linked to the Premier League move because Kvaratskhelia is now going to come in and take that left wing spot. Maybe that would have happened. The problem is you guys are ruling out that Arsenal have people working in the background, as David
Who
Ornstein
ruled
said.
them out? We said we don't know.
No
Who
one
ruled out anything?
said they're not going
No,
to
because Tom is like, Arsenal not going to sign anyone because who? And I'm like, every time I speak, it's like, who
We
more?
just said there's
Who?
6
Tell me
days
more.
left. So who could it be?
Right, Mo, I'm saying there is 6 days left. For the level of player that Arsenal should want to buy, they are not going to get that with 6 days to go. You'd
Yeah,
struggle to get that
that's-
anyway
I
in
just-
January.
Is
You are not getting
Barcola
that
a
with 6 games to go.
plausible
You're not
scenario
getting-
for you?
Barcola's
I
not
don't
happening this
know.
January. Barcola's not happening
What?
this January.
At the
If-
very, very least, PSG will wait to see if they're still in the Champions League at the end of whatever day it is, Wednesday.
This is
So I
Wednesday.
think, in theory, if they lost, there is
They've
a
got
world in
Stuttgart.
which.
They've got Stuttgart, so they'll.
You guys
Yeah.
still got, they're going to win.
In fact, actually, they might already be guaranteed safe anyway. So then they've got the playoffs coming up. Are they really going to lose Barcola now when Kvaratskhelia isn't bedded in or anything? And you could very comfortably still start both Barcola and Kvaratskhelia. I don't see a world in which they're
Barcola is
losing.
their top scorer
They'll-
this season. They're not going
Yeah,
to get rid of him.
and especially not for a decent price in January. So I think he may move in the summer, but he won't move in January.
Every name, if I put it, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of La Liga and Bundesliga, but just to end this,
No,
because
you-
we don't want to
no,
go for
no, because
Allah.
Mo, I
And
did-
I
I
finish
didn't
my
shoot-
statement, and then you can just bottle it.
No, because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say every
What am
name
I
I've
going to
asked-
say? Can you
every
tell the
name-
people what I'm
every-
going to say and respond to me,
You're going to
please?
say. You're going to say
Yeah.
that every name you put out there, we're just going to shoot it down.
Yeah.
We're just going to say
Let's
no.
see.
But
Respond now.
But I'm not going to because I agree with the
Mhm.
Matthias Tell shows. I think that's a deal that could happen. Do I think that's a player at the level of the Arsenal need to go and close the gap this window and win Arsenal? Do I think Matthias Tell wins Arsenal a Premier League title this season? No. So there's two different things. Do I think Matthias Tell improves Arsenal? Yes. Good signing. Do I think Matthias Tell improves Arsenal enough this season to win the Premier League title? No. Were there players that would have done that? Yes. Are they going to be available with a week left in a window? In the January window, should I say? No.
just to end the show, guys, you guys heard it here first on Footy Judge Mo. Give up hope, Arsenal fan. No one should be targeting the league now because your club is not going to sign anyone and your club is not good enough to win the league. That is Tom's statement and the end of the Irrational League on Footy Judge Mo, guys. Arsenal fans, stop watching the Premier League. You're getting second and it doesn't matter. Only watch Arsenal play in the Champions League because that is your hope of
That
winning
is
the
the
trophy this
definition
season.
of gaslighting.
Yeah, this is
We're
no
winning.
gaslight.
We're winning the Champions League. I've got a
We'll
feeling.
talk about that later. Once we know the route by after Wednesday.
Doesn't matter what the route is.
Yeah, wait, you don't care what the route is. You think you're gonna win the Champions League?
Yeah. I think we're built to win the Champions League this season.
I think
That's
you're
Footy
more
Judge
built
Mo-
to
that's
win the
that's a
Champions
Footy
League
Judge
than
Mo
the
line.
league.
I was slagged off by
What?
everyone for putting a video saying Arsenal are built to win the Champions League. You
We
know
are.
that.
We are, but we're built to win it this
You
year.
know that I was slagged off
By who?
by Lee and Northside and
I mean, you get
South.
slagged up because you
Ah.
deserve it, but that's a different conversation.
You've got to keep better company. I wouldn't have slagged you off.
I would.
I said that. I think even Hossam, like kind of like after we did a show right after I released this video, and Hossam was like, "Are you deluded?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Anyway, that's for a different day. I think we'll know. How can a club create a strong sense of brotherhood so that it doesn't just feel like a collection of soulless mercenaries? Does this take time? It's so deep, and I don't understand how to answer.
I think that's related to Chelsea. I would expect.
It takes
Um,
club identity, which takes generations to build up.
Tom has an answer for everything. I
Yeah.
love Tom.
I do. It takes
Love you,
club
bro.
identity. It takes.
You're my idol. You're my role model. I want to grow up to be like you.
It takes a manager who fully backs it and can who just draws in the people in the same way, and it takes a squad of players that are 100% committed to that ideology, and all three of those will bring the fans in. If you don't have one of those, it becomes hard to do. You don't have two of those, you're not going to do it. If you don't have three of those, you might as well just give up on that. It's not going to happen. Do I think Chelsea can do that? I don't think they can change that club culture. I don't
think they
think
can either.
I
Especially
think that
because of
club
the
culture
fan
they had
base.
previously, and that's the answer.
You
Chelsea
have to
the-
build a culture like Arsenal, where everyone stand behind the lads. That's what you need.
Chelsea's fan base is a
That
mercenary
was a
fan
joke,
base.
right?
No, that is reality. Actually, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Arsenal
No, I
created a
sense some
culture.
sarcasm.
No. Arsenal created a culture that is, if you talk to the majority of Arsenal fans, they want to be behind the team. No one is, a majority of them don't want to be waiting for mistakes. They just don't. They want the team to like, okay, then we feel that we're behind the team. I believe that is a culture that created the Arsenal. Is it the right culture? Maybe not. But I believe that is the truth. You know that. Everyone knows that watches
Yeah.
Arsenal.
The other thing Chelsea have to stop doing is buying players. Like, so you at some point you just have to relax a little bit and let the squad like form about like the amount of players that they brought in within the last 12 months that are already looking at leaving. If you've got that constant rotation, like how do you even build a culture? What is the culture when it's just a bunch of different blokes churning in and out of a squad? Like, you can't do that.
I actually believe that is so crucial what Rory said. When you have the same core, like Man City for years, and you add one who here, and it's a transition. It's not like remove this guy, sell the guy, get a new guy. People feel a sense of like belonging. I belong to a core or something. People help. The older guys help the younger guys, and that has how it works. That's a sense of belonging to this team. Chelsea literally replaced the whole team, got the team back, and then some of them were like, "Oh, you're away. We don't want you. Just go on loan. Oh, come back. We need you. You leave, Disasi." No one will feel a sense of like, okay, there is no brotherhood, as people say, within that club. It's just the reality, and it worked. By the way, just can I put one thing out, Tom, before you go on? Chelsea, the team that Chelsea won, had a core that stayed together for a while. By the way, just for that Chelsea were firing and hiring manager, but the core stayed for years.
Mm-hmm. But Chelsea was never set up to be this brotherhood type thing built around one man, because Chelsea was built around short-term success, 2 to 3 year cycles. Have a manager come in, give them 3 years. Once they're done, get them out. That's not how you necessarily build this strong sense of brotherhood that he was asking for. And it's certainly not going to work now. But when it comes to club culture, Chelsea have never had success in the other way. The only success Chelsea have known since 2000 is cutthroat, sack a manager every 2-3 years by the best in class. So therefore the fans are going to want to stick with that culture, not try and move to an entirely new one that isn't giving the same results.
I hear you. Just a last super chat before we leave. Kind of I agree. I personally can see players' body language in the UEFA Champions League as opposed to the domestic cups. Just a feeling though. By the way, when I did this video was earlier, I didn't agree with it now. I don't think Arsenal will win the Champions League. I think they are like 6 favorites or something. I'll put Barcelona, Inter, Liverpool, Real Madrid ahead of them.
No.
Why no? Why no? Are you better than Inter? Are you better than Inter?
Yes, I think we are better than you. I think you robbed us at your own ground with that handball. Over 2 legs, I think we beat you quite comfortably. Against Barcelona, I think we tear them apart. Real Madrid, I think we tear them apart. Liverpool's the danger. Liverpool is the danger.
So you believe you're second favorite after Liverpool?
Yeah.
Inter Atletico, what do you mean?
That's not my opinion. It's your opinion. You're the Arsenal fan. It's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is.
We're built for it. I'm telling you. We've got to do is get through the playoffs. Not the playoffs, the round of 16, where we're going to be against a team that's played twice in February in their playoffs. Get through that. Then we're into the quarterfinals aren't until April. By that point, Bukayo Saka's back.
Bukayo Saka will be back, but would Bukayo Saka be back?
Yeah, they've had 4 months off.
But hamstring injury.
I mean, it's not months off. He was not on vacation. He was healing.
Yeah. Well, Arteta's been trying to get him to go. Arteta's actually been literally demanding that Saka goes on holiday, and he keeps refusing because he wants to be in and around the squad. But no, it's not months off, but 100% he will come back fresher than normal.
No players don't come from hamstring injuries fresh.
Yep, he will be.
Rory
The
play
rest of it.
football.
He won't be sharp.
Yes.
He won't
He
be
might
sharp.
not-
He's no match
No, but-
fitness.
No, but he's good enough.
Rory.
He doesn't need to be sharp. Trust me.
Fresh and sharp are 2 different things. Sharp is like you're ready to play. Fresh is like, all right, I've been out of the team for a while. I've been out of the pressure for a while. You know, I got my mind and my body rested for a little bit. I come back. I'm ready to play again, but doesn't mean I'm sharp.
He's got 4 months focused on coming back to win us the Champions League, and that's what he's going to do.
All that just to go out in the fucking. All that just to go out.
Mo clap back with
Quarterfinals
Inter
again.
against Rory Steak.
You know, this could age to be a very nice clip in a few months from now.
I know.
Someone's right now sitting here.
If Saka comes back as an absolute stinker in that quarterfinal and Arsenal go out, so I can't help but feel
my
it's
God.
going to be posted on
Honestly.
stage.
Now all I want is
This
Saka
clip,
comes
this
back.
Clip,
Hold on.
cold TikTok edit will be this clip followed
You
by
can clip it for yourself.
Saka running around the pitch holding a Champions League trophy.
Saka running with a dodgy hamstring. I tell you what, it'll go again.
All I want now
Okay,
is for Saka to come back, Inter to draw Arsenal in the Champions League, Saka have a stinker, we slap them, and then we'll do the show.
Nah, you can. Yeah.
Mo didn't even
We
want
should
to
have
win the
beaten
Champions
you.
League. You know how Mo didn't end that we're going to win the Champions League? No, we should.
See, bro, I'm not like Rory, bro. I'm not gonna just put out a statement and say I'm their favorites or something. It's Real Madrid, bro. It is.
I said second favourites. Not third favourites.
Who's your favorites, Mo?
Who's one club? Liverpool.
No, your top 3.
Liverpool, Real Madrid still. I would say at this moment, Inter or Atletico Madrid, yes. Atletico Madrid are very dangerous in the Champions League.
I think your 5 favourites are Liverpool, Real Madrid, Inter, Barca, Atleti. but Barca is very contingent on the draws that they get. If Barca draw an Inter or an Atleti, they'll go out because they'll just nullify them. But if Barca get some draws against some teams that want to play football, then they might get through all the way, because I think pound for pound, attacking wise, the most dangerous team there is.
Because Atletico Madrid haven't lost a game in like 12 games or something like this. Just haven't lost
I'm
for a
pretty
while.
sure Atletico lost like last week.
Really? I thought they're top of the league, and people said they haven't lost for a while.
No,
Maybe.
Real are top
No
of
way.
the league.
I bet Saka's raring to come back, itching for it. Habibi,
Yep.
AMT, itching
Of course
or
he
raring
is.
to come back. It's like, doesn't mean he's going to come
What
back.
are you clapping for? No one said he doesn't want to come back, Rory.
Yeah,
We're talking
Rory,
about
because
being
he's-
sharp.
Because
That is the
he's
diff-
going to
And
come
then they
back.
say Mo's gaslighting.
He's going to come back. He is going to come back like a man reborn. You're not ready for it. Yeah. Honestly, you're not
Maybe,
ready.
I think
You-
mentally, maybe, don't get me wrong. I did not say mentally at all. If anything, I think mentally you will be. I'm just talking about sharp. Like, you don't leave football for 3 months and you come back
But he's
sharp.
not leaving. He's not leaving.
Well, he's not here now. That's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't been in football for 3 months because of his injury.
Yeah.
He'll be training. He'll be in
For the sake
gym,
of
he'll
the
be
title
conditioning.
race, I hope you're right.
Right.
And I don't hate Arsenal winning the Champions League. to be honest. I think
Putting
it will
Arsenal
break the
outside the
internet
top
if
six.
you win
Right,
the
we're-
Champions
I
League.
think it would.
We're third in the Champions League this season. We've conceded 2 goals in the whole Champions League, and one was a bullshit penalty against you, and one was from a corner when we won 5-1. And then against big teams in the Premier League, we've not lost against a big team in the Premier, other than the United penalties. We've not lost against a big team in the Premier League in like
You just got slapped 2-0 against
Six
Newcastle at your home
days.
ground. So
they're not a big 16,
They should be.
and we didn't have Saka.
The more of
What
what
is
they
it? What is
They're
it?
more of a
get
big
slapped by
16
them.
than
What are you
Spurs.
We
doing?
didn't even get slapped by them. We didn't even get slapped by them.
You
though.
literally
Like,
got
we
slapped
actually-
2-0 at home.
But we actually outplayed them. Isak just is a clinical
Mo,
finisher.
look at the
Yeah,
XG. Look at the XG. Look at the
Yeah, look at the
XGOT.
Damn straight. look at the
Rory.
XG.
Look
Rory,
at the
look at the
pixels.
XG.
What happened?
And then bring.
Rory,
we
it's after 4 you turned on TikTok, Rory.
Right.
What's going on? It's the
gonna have
directional
Saka
league.
back.
It's a TikTok, Rory.
Right? Did they turn to a TikTok, Rory?
What?
That's crazy.
We're gonna have
What's
Saka back.
happening?
Trust me.
After 4 p.m., he turned into a TikTok, Rory.
This
It's
isn't.
the
Well, yeah, this
directional
is
league.
no TikTok. Rory is me. I am one in the same. Twitter, that's a different story.
Is that Twitter, Rory?
No, I don't think Arsenal can be considered not in the top 5 favourites.
I never said that. Like maybe
You
top
did.
5.
I don't think we disagree with
You
that.
just
No, we
did.
were just disagreeing on the sharpness.
Tom
I-
did,
I
Tom.
have-
It wasn't me. It was
I have to
it's
say,
Tom.
Yeah.
because of Atleti's terrible. That's why.
Well, look, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Okay. Hopefully. We'll see. Guys, Rory's going. Rory, you have video up.
Maybe, I don't know. I've been slacking on YouTube, to be honest, but we'll see.
No, so don't go follow Rory in TikTok, to be honest. It's Rory Talks Football. Fantastic
Yeah.
content. Funny, great, amazing. Staffy, thank you so much for the watch along yesterday. I know you screamed when you played literally Stock City FC. You made so much.
I didn't
You made
see
fun
a
of
video.
Arsenal. You guys literally. You did
Did you watch my watch along?
I did clips. There was someone that sent me stuff, but just not. I
Who's
wasn't. I
clipping
didn't
me?
even watch.
Ah.
It's parts of YouTube, you know, when someone sends you like a minute or something. But anyway, it is what it is.
To be
Tom
honest,
Little.
the only part of Staffy's watch alongs I've watched is when Maguire put it over the bar against Liverpool, and I thought his entire
Bro,
room was
everyone
going to
watched
fall apart when he hit
Listen.
the floor.
Everyone watched that.
Guys,
Did I tell you? Wait, Mo, did I tell you? I went that
Sure.
that weekend. I went to grab dinner with my mother. She was like, "I saw your clip." I was like, "What clip?" She said, "When he fell off the chair." And my mom,
yeah, you
knows
made it.
nothing.
You made it to Instagram because you made
And
it
I
to
said-
general accounts on Instagram.
Bro, I saw, and I told my mom, I was like, "Wait, how'd you see that?" She was like, "It was like online. Like your sister sent it to me." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So you
made it
know,
on
that
Instagram, yeah.
she saw my Maguire reaction. My mother knows nothing about football.
Yeah,
That's how bad it was.
yeah. Listen, people. 20 likes away to 300. Appreciate everyone that supported, subscribed. Rory Talks Football, TikTok, YouTube. His TikTok and Instagram is on YouTube channel. So go and support Rory. It's simple. Tom Little as well. Staffy TV, Nobbins, and Dan. They had to go, but great show.
Can we all wish Emram a happy birthday? By the way, it's his birthday today.
Fuck Ruben Amorim.
Shut up, Tom. Happy birthday, Ruben Amorim.
We'll see you guys soon. We're out of here, people.